because this conversation that we're having today, I think is very important. Is Trump ruining the world? A lot of people are saying yes, folks. So let's see what you guys have to say. While we're waiting, guys, ping your friends and invite them in. Let them know that we're live on a Chatter social app, folks.
Yeah, that music's not picking up too strong, but that's all right. We don't have to have music tonight. We're gonna get that worked out in the sideshow.
All right, guys. Welcome to the Chatter Social Show, guys. We're going to do a quick opening. Man, oh man, I am excited to be here. As always, on the
What are you talking about? We're gonna do an opening. I thought we already did a fucking opening.
that said we did a short opening. That's that said. Like, what the hell,
Bro,
Grant? What are you
bro,
doing, bro?
bro,
You ruining
bro,
out.
don't
You're
tell
ruining
people.
our opening, bro. What's wrong with you,
Dude, we
bro?
had an opening, bro.
Yeah,
What
we
the
just did a
fuck?
nice one, bro.
Bro, we had an opening.
It is an opening.
Dude, no, we opened already. Once we open, we don't fucking talk about the opening.
Absolutely. Let's guys. This is
This is why
Grant
you think Trump is
Cardone.
ruining things.
This is Grant Cardone mentoring the Debate the News podcast on how to get up to the next stratosphere, folks. So, Uncle G, how you doing? We have we have a lot of people here tonight, guys, in the audience, in the studio audience. This is a live podcast, and there's a live studio audience, as we mentioned before. If you guys want to come and have a conversation with myself, Grant, Cindy, or anyone in the audience, I don't know, Luis, we have here. We have just so many people. Divine, you name it. The God, just so many different people here, guys. If you guys want to have a conversation, you guys can download that Chatter Social app. So, with that being said, guys, is Donald Trump ruining the world?
Hell yeah. He got y'all scared to talk on this social audio app because y'all scared to get deported.
Yeah, well, Louise, why don't you take your immigration papers, go get them stamped again, and tell us how Donald Trump has fucked up your life.
I got the immigration papers from your wife.
That's good. That's good.
What the fuck?
Working in the community to help people like you out.
What the fuck?
She's dedicated. She's dedicated to helping fucking dumbasses like yourself. I tell her all the time, why do you spend time with fucking losers like Louise? But she's like, because I love all people. I said, well, fucking good for
And
you.
she loves short midgets like you. Watch your mouth.
Yeah, okay.
Ay, ay, ay. The fuck?
One short king to another.
Okay. She says, I'm short, but I've been taking good care of her.
I respect that.
Oh.
Short violence is crazy.
And I want to know how Donald Trump has ruined your life, Louise. Just give me one example of how your life got worse in the last 77 days. Because I didn't think it could go much lower. But tell me.
You talking to me specifically?
Yeah, the only Louise stands for loser in the room.
Oh, so you must be talking to one of your friends. I ain't one of them.
No, I'm asking you, how did Donald Trump mess up your life in the last 80 days?
Well, I'll tell you specifically for the population that I go after and I go after to help. He
What
vowed to take
population
away.
is that? What population is
That's
that?
people who are looking to buy their first time home and may not have enough money to afford the down payment and the closing costs.
Yeah.
His executive order
And the monthly payment, right?
Yeah, and the monthly payment, but more specifically, being able to afford what most people struggle with, which is a down payment and closing costs. He vowed to have Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac stop down payment assistance programs across this country,
Okay,
and that directly impacts the people that I go after to help on a day-to-day basis.
Great. Well, Debate the News didn't lie about the news. So why don't you tell your audience that you care so much about that the truth is Joe Biden and Jerome Powell increased the interest rates 300%. And that's why the mortgage that most people can't afford and why the housing crisis is where it's at today is because most people can't, number one, afford the down payment. Number two, can't afford the home because they don't earn enough income for triple the payment. And top 15 cities in this country, the rents are half of what a mortgage costs. Explain to me why the interest rate went so high. Why we got
you won't leave out the part that they had to regulate the inflation that your man Donald Trump actually caused with his spending through COVID. You gonna leave out that part conveniently, right? So you gonna blame it on Joe Biden like he actually didn't inherit a shitty economy from your man Donald Trump. I like the way you did that though. That was good. That was, you know what? That was masterful. Everybody give this man a round of applause. That was great. That was great.
That's a nice little trick you're doing right now, but that's not considered to be debating because you're back to lying.
Oh, so he did. So he did create
Bro,
the inflation that
we
we're
have a
having.
housing crisis in this country right now. I don't even know why you're kidding around about it. 5 months ago, okay, Donald Trump became president of the United States. He's only been in office 77 days. He didn't fuck up the housing market in 77 days.
Was he in office 4 years before Joe Biden?
Irrelevant.
Oh, it's irrelevant. Oh
We're
yeah, I'm
talking about,
sorry.
I
The
thought you were
truth is
talking,
irrelevant. I'm sorry. I forgot. We're in the spin zone. Everybody, go back to the Twilight Zone. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. More.
You
How did
said
he fuck up the
irrelevant.
housing market in 2016? It was, what are you talking about? It was booming.
I said he caused the inflation that made interest rates go up.
Oh, okay. COVID had nothing to do with anything, right? We're just going to put that in the rearview mirror. Got it. Good. Okay.
I mean, he was a president at that time, and he was the one who was in charge. And I put it solely on him because if things went well, he'll take the credit for it. So when things go bad, you got to take all the blame.
You
guys,
had a
50,
phenom
50%,
situation. Stop.
50% of Americans have a loan, a 30-year mortgage below 3% in this country because of Donald Trump. Do you know what
But
that?
Grant, why you?
Do you know what that did for the wealth creation in this country? 50% of all the loans by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac in this country today are below 3% because of Donald J. Trump. That means compare a 2.8% loan to a 7.5% loan. You could afford a $440,000 house in 2021. All you can afford today with interest rates where they are today is $280,000. Donald
But why
Trump
you
didn't
crying?
cause inflation. Donald Trump allowed half of America to buy a house and be able to afford one.
So the tax cuts and the spending to keep us stimulated through the pandemic, he didn't contribute to that. You gotta say that he contributed to it in some way. He actually added to the national debt. Why are y'all playing like this?
He can't tell the truth right now. He's actually broadcasting from Mar-a-Lago.
Oh, Jonathan, you on mute.
Guys, hear me?
I mean, are we going to respond to it? The fact that he gave that tax cut that added to the national debt, and the fact that he did stimulate the economy. I mean, I have to. I mean, he's supposed to do what he's supposed to do, but it also added to the inflation during the pandemic, and he presided over the pandemic.
What did you want him to do? Have businesses going out of business, people not
No,
working, not helping them? What? Tell me. Tell
no.
me.
Did I just say he did the wrong thing?
Carlos,
He did the right thing by stimulating the economy, but you can't act like he didn't add to the inflation.
yeah, but
Come on.
what caused inflation? What caused
Hey
inflation
guys,
was
this
not
is
low interest rates.
yeah,
No,
inflation. No, it's
What
the
caused
supply
government
chain.
inflation? What
it was
caused
new money that
inflation?
created to stimulate the economy.
Exactly if what caused inflation was the
Was all
supply
the money
chain
that was
during
put in.
COVID got backed up. When goods and services are not available that are wanted, when supply goes down and demand's still there, price will go up. That's what caused it. The moment the supply chains were relieved, prices came back to normal. This happened most recently, by the way, with eggs. At the end of the year, there was a destruction of chickens and eggs across America. Guess what happened in January? Prices of eggs went up. That has now been handled. The price of oil is down today. The price of gas is down. The price of electricity is down. Food is down. Everything is down in this country except mortgage rates because we had to drag over that piece of shit, Jerome Powell, from the Biden administration. And speaking of
No, that's from the
Trump,
Trump administration.
excuse me, here today and gone tomorrow, co-host or host, whatever you are. I mean, you're here for a second, then you're gone. Goddamn, get your game on.
No, actually, no. What happened was
Last
the
thing I
equipment.
wanted
I
to
forgot I
say
had to
is
go.
Joe, sleepy fucking Joe Biden and Kamala the hoe printed $8 trillion, gave
So wait a
$4 trillion.
minute. So you're trying to act like Trump didn't nominate Powell? That Powell was not his fair children?
He wants to get rid of him. He's been wanting to get rid of him,
He nominated him. So you're saying he made a bad choice?
and he knows that now.
Oh, he knows that now. So he's bad at picking people.
But let me
Like
just
his
say this,
first cabinet.
Carlos, he
And
wasn't.
none of people
Trump
in this
had him under
cabinet.
complete control between 2016 and 2020.
So you would have to admit that he's bad at picking talent.
I wouldn't say that. No, I wouldn't say he's bad at
Absolutely,
I wouldn't
absolutely,
say he's bad
absolutely.
at picking talent. I would say anytime you're hiring, when you're going to have a big organization, you're going to end up with some bad talent. I don't know that he
Bad
handpicked
at
Jerome
picking
Powell.
talent. Nothing wrong with saying it, Grant. He's bad at picking talent. Just say it with me. He's bad at picking talent.
He too scared to tell the truth.
I can't say he's bad at picking talent. I don't know that. I mean, he hadn't picked me, so fuck. I mean, he did say he would endorse me though.
That might be the smartest thing he's done so far.
Wait. Oh shit.
Clip it.
Oh man. So wait a minute, Carlos. First of all, thank you, Los, man. You are that guy. I gotta say that to you, but
Breaking news, Sandy Andy.
I'm not gonna repeat it, but some news just broke here. You guys gotta rewind it and find it. Okay.
That's
Luis
my governor.
Luis
That's my governor.
Yeah, I want to tell Jonathan. Hey, Jonathan.
that's my governor.
Yo,
Jonathan, great to be with you here tonight on Debate the News.
Yeah. I have
Who's
some equipment
who's the
problem.
white chick in the photo? Who's the Karen?
Who's the Karen? Just that Karen. Just like the black guy. I think the black guy is
And who's the black dude? Is that guy that does the weather
Van Jones.
on
Van Jones.
NBC?
I think that's Van Jones. That's Van Jones from CNN.
Now he looks like that guy that got on Ozempic and had that
Al. What's his name? Al.
Al Roker.
Is that Al Roca?
Yeah, that's right. That's Al Roker. Yeah.
And who is that? Megan Riley or something?
Yeah, something like that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh man, guys. Hey, guys. First of all, and I'm sorry, guys. I was speaking all that time. You guys didn't hear me. I had to get to
Yeah,
another
you
piece
need
of
to tell
equipment.
the audience what was happening behind the scenes. Goddamn, we got a show.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Once again, we got Mr. GC
I'm gonna
here.
lose my goddamn contract if you keep fucking telling people what's going on behind the scenes.
Let's rock out, guys. So here's the deal: Is Donald Trump ruining America? Has he ruined America, guys? I'm gonna tell you this, right? I got to be objective here, guys, and I know you guys are used to me like coming in here and saying things that you guys find to be far left, and I gotta if I'm gonna do this, if I want to speak about Donald Trump tonight and moderate this thing fairly, I'm gonna have to be middle of the road. I'm gonna have to be fair, and I'm gonna have to be really, really freaking objective. All right. So with that being said, when you look at all that Donald Trump has done since he got in, and given what the situation he's given when he came into the office, and what he was faced with, the economy he is faced with, and the immigration situation, and everything else that Donald Trump has done, guys. If we take away our bias and just like look at it fairly, and I can't be a leftist here. I got to be fair. Donald Trump absolutely fucked this country up. He absolutely ruined this country. That's my take on this shit. So wrap it up, and let everyone know.
That was so predictable, right
Yo,
there. How do you explain this? Hey, how do you explain, Mr. Roker? Mr. Roker,
yes, sir.
how do you explain, Mr. Ozempic, the fact that inflation is below 3% today? I'm sorry, below 2%.
Okay, well, Mr. Walker, here you go. Well, today in D.C., the cherry blossoms are in full bloom. We're looking at 82 degrees. That's Al Roker, right? Listen to me. Jerome Powell, the same guy he's looking to get rid of. Jerome Powell. Jerome Powell's job is to protect the economy. If Jerome Powell does what Donald Trump wants, and Uncle G, Grant, I want you to think about this. If Jerome Powell does what Donald Trump wants to do right now, that means he's going to have to empty out all the arrows out of his quiver, boom, 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 to try to shoot and do what he wants. Now, okay, Donald Trump isn't finished fucking up this economy and messing with this economy. Excuse my language, folks. He's not done yet. So that means that when our economy is in real trouble, if Jerome Powell acts now, and if he acts too soon, he will have nothing left to try to save this economy if it gets into trouble. That's his job. His job is to not care about who's in office. That's why we are the reserve currency, because we have the Fed chair is independent. But if he was to make a move right now and become political and do what Donald Trump wants, remember, Donald Trump appointed Jerome Powell, okay, and a damn good appointment it was, okay, so he can pick people. All right, and that because Jerome Powell got us through the COVID, he got us out of the inflationary environment, he got us to where we are right now. Where Donald Trump could talk about how low inflation is. Jerome Powell, okay, That guy deserves a medal. But if he was to listen to Donald Trump right now and empty his quiver, all right, and all the arrows out of the quiver, guess what? We will be in some deep shit if our economy needs to be saved. I'm gonna tell you this right here, Grant. You better hope that Jerome Powell doesn't acquiesce and do what Donald Trump wants. I land.
So you don't think Powell should lower rates, is what you're saying right now?
I want him to lower rates,
Oh,
but
which one is it?
I want him because I mean, Cindy, I'm in mortgages. Of course, I want him to lower rates.
Oh,
Okay, we're starving over here. Okay, we're over here starving. Yeah, that's the people in the mortgage industry and the finance. We're starving right now. We're crying. So if you talk about personally, yeah, absolutely, lower that shit. Take it back down to 3%, and happy days are here again. But what it's going to do is inflation is going to create an inflationary environment, and I'm going to live large. I'm going to live large. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to be able to. Hey, I'll be able to afford a cocaine habit. You know what I'm saying? That's how much money I'll be making. But here's the deal.
Allegedly.
Here's the deal. You know, that will hurt this country more so than anyone else. So 100%, Powell needs to stay strong. Grant, what are we looking at there, Grant? What are you showing us? Cindy, are you able to see that, Cindy?
You're looking at a price of food. You're looking at a graph of food prices since 2005 to 2025. Okay, you guys see this big spike back here in 2008? That was
Okay.
who was that?
That was Bush.
Okay, good. You see, we went into a recession right here. Low.
Obama.
Good. Look, you see this spike?
Okay. Obama.
Okay, watch this. Low.
Obama. Boom.
Watch
Trump.
this.
Trump.
No, who is this?
What year is that?
2022.
That would be Joseph R. Biden.
Who was 2021?
Joseph R. Biden.
Who was 2020?
That would be Donald Trump.
No.
Yeah, yes, it will.
2020 wouldn't be.
Okay. So that's COVID.
Uh-oh.
COVID. You're right. COVID. Biden. COVID's over. Biden.
But it wasn't over.
Biden. Look at where we're at right now. 24. Right here, where it's at. Is it coming down? Don't believe everything people tell you, folks. Just because the headline's this or that, don't believe it. Okay? Look at the numbers. Numbers don't lie. Jonathan Bing, Luis, and this other fucking deadbeat Carlos lie.
Carlos, you want to address that, Carlos? Carlos, you want to address that?
You guys that are listening online, if y'all want to know who I am, my name's Grant Cardone, and I just give it the way I see it. Okay. If y'all want to come in here and debate the news with me, bring your game. Bring it.
Yeah.
You can even look at.
We got it, Grant. You
can even look at me while we're doing it. Let's go.
And I'm actually in your neighborhood, dude. I'm in your neighborhood. I'm in Manhattan Beach.
Let's go.
I'm in your neighborhood. I was just
you're in LA then.
I'm in a car right now, but I was just in LA. I was just at the Strand doing 11 miles at the beach with my buddy on a hand cycle. Scott Tolan, yeah.
Okay.
So
hey, what are the gas prices in California today?
Just passing a 76 station.
Listen to this, folks. Hold on. Listen to this.
Gas prices are $4.98 for diesel and $4.99 and $5.19 and $5.39 and $5.49. So yeah, about $4.99 is the lowest. Cash.
$5.50. $5.50.
Yeah, $5.50. $5.50 for premium.
Because you're in a communist. You're in a communist nation. Okay, come to Florida. It's $2.89.
Yeah, New Jersey is $2.90, $2.85.
Okay, is that Trump's fault, guys? No, that's the fucking extreme liberal, crazy people trying to grab the land from the people in California. It's extreme politics, and that's what we're getting rid of in this country right now under Donald Trump. And we actually have proof of people, communists communism right here in this room with the title, Did Donald Trump Ruin America? That's pure, straight up communism, folks. If you're listening, download your Chatter app and come tell this guy, Jonathan Bing, he's whack.
Absolutely. So,
Bruh.
so with that being said, hey guys, Grant and I have been going back and forth. What we want to do is we want to get you guys in. We
I want to
definitely
hear from the other people, Jonathan.
exactly. As I said, we want to get you guys in. But Grant, before we do that, I want to do a dateline. All right, let's do that real quick. Get that
Oh,
out
you
the
want
way.
to do a dayline?
Yeah, let's do a dateline.
God
All right,
damn.
chat. What's up, chat? Are you there?
I'm here. How you doing? What's up,
I'm
JB?
on top of the
Oh,
world. I'm on top of the world, chat. Yeah, I'm here fussing with Grant, and
okay. On a scale from 1 to 10, how
Ain't
good do
nothing
you think?
new.
On a scale from 1 to 10, how good do you think her dayline's going to be?
chat does pretty good. I think chat, but she just started doing that, so I'm not. I'm gonna say it's 7 or 8. I would say 8. I
No,
would say 8.
she stays right down the middle. I
Yeah,
thought
she
her
stays in the
thing the other
middle.
night was
Yeah,
great.
but we're rating it. How good it is. What do you think you're going to give her, Cindy?
I gave her a 9 the other night.
Okay, I give her
I
a
think she
six.
was
Let's see
I
what you
think she
got.
was
Go ahead, Chad.
objective. I think she went both ways in
I'm
her
not talking
statement.
about the other night. I'm talking about tonight. Get
Oh,
with it.
I don't know. I'll have to
Get
see.
with it, old lady.
I'm trying, buddy. I'm
Whoa,
trying.
not
I'm
too much
taking
on my
vitamin
Cindy
C.
now. Too much on
Ready?
my Cindy. Well, how about you let me do it, and
Let's
then
go.
you can
Three,
judge.
two, one. Give it to us.
All right, guys. This is your weekly wrap up. This is your weekly dateline. So, across the country, the 50501 movement showed up loud and strong. Over 600 protests, all sending the same message: democracy is in danger. The progressives call it a movement to save America. Conservatives, however, call it political theater from people who lost the last round. But either way, the message was clear. The fight isn't cooling off anytime soon. But it's funny how both sides say they're saving America, but are we ever going to decide who broke it? How about y'all talk about that? While the streets were and fighting and protest, the real decisions were also happening in the courtrooms. And this week, the Supreme Court stepped in and froze the Trump administration's latest deportation plan, stopping the removal of Venezuelan migrants, at least for now, right? Supporters of the bloc says it's about protecting due process. We've heard that in this room for about 2 weeks now, that it's about due process. It's solely about due process. But critics are saying that this is another example of the court putting politics over national security. But either way, last week made one thing clear, that even the Constitution is starting to feel the pressure of where America is. You know, it's funny how five people in robes they just decided the future for us as Americans. For the same people that are complaining about Trump's overreach, do we think that the Supreme Court is doing the same? But I'd just like to add, though, these decisions are not only affecting Americans, they are also affecting us globally. In Rome, U.S. diplomats sat down with Iranian officials trying to put a lid back on that boiling pot. And in Mexico, President Obrador slammed the door shut on U.S. drone strike proposals, making it clear that sovereignty, not cooperation, comes first. Sounds familiar. Progressives are calling it a win for global balance. Conservatives, however, are calling it a sign of America getting smaller one border at a time. Also, we'll go over to Wisconsin. Wisconsin State Supreme Court flipped back to liberal hands after one of the most expensive judicial races in American history. Progressives call it a firewall to protect rights they say are under threat. Conservatives call it proof that money, not votes, is what's tilting the balance now. Either way, when judges' seats cost millions of dollars, if people are literally paying for seats, then I think they're buying a little bit more than justice. And while the political world was throwing punches, right? We saw, and I don't know if you all saw this, I haven't touched on this all week, but Lee Corso, guys, he called it a career. He will no longer be on ESPN after 40 years of serving on air. So that wraps it up for the week. For those of you that celebrate the Resurrection Day, happy Resurrection Day to you. Oh, and last thing, Jonathan, I forgot. Yesterday was the anniversary of the attack in Oklahoma at the Branch Davidian compound. So we had memorials in Oklahoma. And also today is 420. So for those of you that partake, have fun. Back over to you, Jonathan.
All right, so I just want to do a little clarity. I think great deadline, but Branch Davidian was Waco, Texas, and you're right. Yesterday
I'm
was the
sorry.
anniversary. Yeah. Branch Davidian was Waco, Texas.
32nd anniversary.
Yeah, exactly. And so I knew you knew that, Rob. I knew your ass would know that because Branch Davidian was the launching point, I guess, for a lot of different things, but which led to what happened 2 years later. 2 years later was the Merrill Building in Oklahoma City, and that's what you're referencing. So on April 19th, the Branch Davidian happened in '93, and the Oklahoma.
It's also another important date, Jonathan.
What's that?
The 250th anniversary of the start of the Revolutionary War, which is more important than all of that shit.
There you go.
Wake it up, Rob.
So there you guys go, man. So Grant, what's your grade? Do you want to revise your grade, or you want to leave that grade there? That's what I want.
Solid 7.8, and it was excellent, by the way. I'd love to hear Rob do one too, because he's got.
I want to. I definitely, Rob, you want to get Dateline ready for us later on? We can come back to you.
Sure. What do you want me to talk about?
Anything your heart desire.
Shit together, bro.
All right.
The Dateline.
You know what I'm going to do?
You take.
Yeah, I know what I'm going to do.
5 or 6. Just update us on the news today. 5 or 6 points that people may not have known. And don't just read it the way Chat did. Like Chat could have been an 8.8, but she just read it a little bit too much. And I love Chat, but I'm gonna be critical of people I care about.
Oh, of course.
He always is.
Even more, way critical. But I get it. I still feel the love. I appreciate the honesty.
Cindy, are you there?
Give her 10, just a teeny bit long-winded.
What'd you say?
10, a little bit long-winded.
That's right.
Chat, I'm gonna give you an 8.5. Okay, you weren't biased. You were down the middle, and I think you did a great job. So, guys, drop your grade for Chat in the chat. Drop your grade for Chat in the chat, and let's listen to the audience say. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
All right.
See, this is watch all the 9s. Watch all the 9s. Watch all the people that want to give 9s and 10s, because you guys are a bunch of DEI hires.
Oh shit.
We got an 8.75. But no, Chat, great job. I appreciate that. And you came up with it on the fly there. So
on the fly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Absolutely. So guys, we're going to move this mic around. So what we want to do is we want to hear from the people that we haven't heard from yet. Whether you're on CH or whether you are over here on Chatter, I want to say, hey, jump in. Have Trump ruined this country? Is Trump ruining the country? That's what I want to know. All right. That's what I want to know. Is Trump removed?
I'd like to get some real example of how you ruined the country. I was at Mar-a-Lago last night, and I tell you, everybody seems pretty happy over there.
We can smell the Kool-Aid.
So
Luis, I was going to invite you over there, man, one weekend.
Nah, you trying to get Luis kicked out of his country, bro.
That's a fact. Deported.
Oh man. So yeah, guys. Anyone jump in? We have Divine. Divine, are you here? Divine. Divine going twice, and we have Snarky Puppy. Anyone of you guys? Any of our regulars?
Why are you calling people up? Just let people
listen, Jonathan, I've got a mouthful, but I'm getting my luggage right now, so you're gonna have to give me a second. But I got something for all you.
What? You coming out again?
Pause.
You coming out again?
Pause. Anyways, Jonathan, I have a lot to say. You know what? Let me just say this real quick.
You got some of that chorizo in your mouth right now, TC?
Grant, you wish. All right.
You got some of that Mexican sausage in your mouth?
Hey, Grant, you taking it too far. Calm the hell down, Grant. You taking that shit too far.
I'm just saying, you're the one that said it.
Jonathan, there's a lot to be said about where we are in the state of this country right now, and I would probably argue that
He got a phone
No, no,
call.
he didn't get a phone call. He's in
come
Mexico,
come back
bro.
to me. Come back to me, Jonathan.
He's in
Come back to me.
Mexico, bro.
See, the one thing about TC, guys, TC comes in here and he speaks his mind and he
He
speaks no
didn't
matter
say
what.
shit. He couldn't. He. What are you talking about?
No, no, I'm talking about normally. Normally, he was about to speak and then he got a call. Obviously, Grant. That's what happened there.
But okay, whatever, man.
That's him speaking his mind. He says nothing because there's nothing in there.
He didn't say anything, bro. He didn't say anything. Like,
I'm talking about nightly. He says things nightly, and people get upset with TC, but he comes in, he brings the fire every night. That's something I'm just acknowledging, and so he's ready to do so. So, guys, yeah. Anyway, anyone else wants to jump
I
in on
thought you couldn't
Yeah,
have
where's
people that.
Rob? What happened to Rob?
Yeah,
Rob's getting
Rob's
it?
coming. Rob's warming up.
Yeah, right.
Rob's
Yeah,
trying to warm up.
yeah. He's stretching right now.
Yeah, he's doing his warm up.
There's a difference between bringing fire and starting fire.
That there is a difference, bro. And then the guy that puts out the fire with more fire.
No, absolutely. So anyway, guys. So once again, if you're on CH, we're gonna make sure we move this mic around. We don't want anyone afraid to speak, guys. Yeah, we want to know if Trump's running this country because I have just so many different ways that I believe that he is running the country. Because guys, our relationships with our allies. I mean, Canada. Come on, man. Canada, EU. Come
Oh,
on.
51. Let's hear from the Canadians.
What he's
How about
doing is he's resetting the table. He's not ruining America. He's resetting the table in terms of
Let's talk
trade.
about it.
Okay, he 40 years ago he signaled his issues with how America was being taken advantage of, and I sound like a broken record because I say this every time. But what do you think he was going to do? He's been waiting to take on this challenge for decades. He's now in a position to do something about it, and he's not cutting any corners. He's taking it straight on. And this is what you call there's some turbulence up front, but long term, smooth sailing is ahead. I think people have to be patient and give this man some grace. He's taking on a decades long challenge. I think you particularly, Jonathan, you're being way too critical of him. You're not giving him a chance to get his agenda through.
I love this guy, dude. I love this guy because this guy's speaking sanity.
That's man Fitty.
And
Grant.
Manfinity. I love that, Manfinity. That I couldn't have said it better. You should speak up more
Yeah,
often.
it's like, have you ever been in a plane taking, going up, and every bit of turbulence is sitting next to someone who goes, "Oh my God, we're gonna die." That's what we're dealing with. We have people who are reacting to every little bit of turbulence, not knowing that the pilot is calm, cool, and collected. He's going to get us through these tough times. Not him alone. He has an entire team. And we're going to be all right, man. But people are reacting to every bit of turbulence. And, at some point, they're going to get it. But, Grant, you did a great job at Madison Square Garden. I was right behind you, man.
Thank you, brother.
America's back. America's back, guys.
Where did we go?
Yeah.
America has been taken advantage of for decades, and you know it as well as I do.
No,
And he wants to
you don't
reset
know
that
what I
table.
know.
Okay, but we need to reset that table. And the way you do that is by doing what he's doing now. It's a blanket challenge to the world. We need a reset. You guys have been taking advantage of us for too long.
You guys have been taking
Who's you
advantage of it.
guys?
Who's
You
Canada.
What the fuck
You
I do to
guys.
Canada? What did I do? What
Canada's
did I
been
do to
living off
America?
us for free. Canada's been living off of us. The UN's been living off of us. All of Europe's been sucking us dry for years. It's time to reset.
So Grant, if there are some people that believe like he's taking us more to like nationalism, individualism, right? And there are other countries that are like following in suit, right? What happens? Like, is nationalism a good thing? Like, can that be profitable? But if everyone else is subscribing to nationalism, then how are we able to trade more or, incorporate other countries in global markets? Like, if we only focus on America and Canada only focuses on Canada and Mexico only focuses on Mexico and we all go within our borders, then does that make us stronger? How does
If
nationalism make us stronger?
Canada only focused on Canada, there'll be no Canada because they need us that bad. They cannot exist without us. At least the way their infrastructure is set up today. And so what he's doing is he's going to rework those deals until Canada actually appreciates the neighbor relationship they have with America, and we get a fair deal. We have unfair deals right now that are the cause of why this country is so indebted. In addition to a bunch of politicians that have robbed us blind, and we need to become more independent.
You know, I want to tell you something, man. The way you guys, you know, we need to put America in the shelter because you guys are making America seem like it's been an abused woman. Okay, that's what the hell y'all doing. Let's put America in the shelter.
Why do
Okay.
you think our national debt is where
No,
it
no,
is?
no, yeah, because what you guys are doing is like you guys call us the greatest country ever. You guys call us the most powerful country ever. But every time you guys speak about us, you guys speak about us as if we've been like the world has just been abusing the hell out of us.
Yeah, it's you have to have be able to hold more than two ideas in your head at one time. American could be the greatest country on earth, while at the same time we could be far from what our potential could be. Two things can be
But
true at the same time.
as you set your table, we invite back measles, mumps, polio, because we don't believe in vaccinations again. You remove females because we become second class citizens as you take away all of our fucking rights. You continue to set your table, but they better be paper fucking plates because most Americans aren't going to be able to afford real plates, let alone the food you're going to put at your table. Trump has removed judicial services, telling the judge to go fuck themselves. So I think you better really be serious about how well Trump is protecting our country. Oh, tariffs this and tariffs that. But you better start looking deeper into what he's doing because your local judge right now, or this judge, he wants representatives to go through him to determine what that law should look like. That is not nationalism. That's damn near communism. He thinks he's a king. He thinks he's a ruler. He's not. He's a president. He should answer to all three parts of our government, and he chooses not to. And that is something that should scare the hell out of everyone.
Man, miss me with that
What women's
goddamn
rights have been
bullshit.
taken
Miss
away?
miss me with
What
that
women's
bullshit.
rights have been taken away?
Can I handle this situation? Miss me with that bullshit. Okay? Miss me with that bullshit. This is nothing but Democratic propaganda. Okay? A bunch of bullshit you pull from
Funny because I'm
CNN
a
and those
Republican.
motherfuckers from Jonathan's fucking PTR of this podcast that are on CNN. Miss me with that bullshit. Let's actually break down the facts. Okay? How is he trying to turn into a dictator? How is he trying to turn into a ruler? Break.
Because he
There
is
we
not
go.
following the rule of law.
Man, some idiot on this stage just muted my goddamn mic.
Yo, don't do. Wait 1 second. Do
You
not
guys,
mute, Mike. Wait 1 second, guys. One
I
second.
mean,
Do not
just
mute.
a
Wait 1 second. Hold on, Nelson.
dumbass.
1 second, Nelson. Hey guys, do not mute mics. We're doing a different kind of show tonight, man. We're wide the fuck open. Do not mute mics tonight. We're wide open. And Swerp, I heard a Caucasian woman talking sense, so I had to go over there and see who you were, and I followed you. Okay, but go ahead. I want to hear what you have to say because, yo, do not drop Nelson
Dude,
either.
dude, so co-host me real quick. Jonathan Howard,
Yeah,
you're gone. You're gone. You're
but
gone.
it's not him. It's not him. Hold on.
Co-host me real quick. You're
We don't
gone.
know
I
who it
wasn't even
is.
on my
No,
phone, Nelson. Calm down.
we don't even know it's him. You can't do that, bro. No, we don't know who that is. So
Punks. You
yeah,
punks.
yeah. So yeah, guys, 1 second. If that does happen, we 1 second. If that does happen, we will have to drop co-hosts.
Bro,
Okay.
I just might have to goo every single Democratic co-host on
Yeah.
this stage. How
And
about
Nelson,
that?
so,
tell him I don't need no damn
one-
co-host.
How
I'm
about that?
Nelson
so,
Putin the Pega.
anyway, so
Nelson, I
yeah,
dare you.
one
You guys are
second.
hopped up on your jelly beans.
Yeah.
What
So
is
yeah. So
going on over here?
Goddamn right.
okay.
Now,
Here's the deal.
let me get back to that Democratic propaganda bullshit. Okay, let's debate the points. Okay, you tell me how Trump believes he's above the rule of law. Let's break it down point by point by point, and let's debate the news.
And
Okay.
what right did he take away from women?
Oh,
Let's
we
start
definitely
there.
need to get to
Excuse me,
Start
I
that.
with
just
that one.
asked
Oh,
that
they're going
That's
to
question a
talk
part
minute
of the
about
ago.
abortion
process.
because that's all they've got.
No,
That is
let's let it
not
roll.
what Trump
Let it
did.
roll.
Trump put
Exactly.
that
They
Whoa,
in
were
whoa,
showing
one
up
place.
mic,
as
Well,
one
Y'all
mic,
hear
abortion,
Nelson?
murdering
one
Hold on.
mic,
babies.
guys. One
Get
mic.
your get.
There you go. There you guys. One mic, guys. We're gonna go to that woman. That he asked the woman a question. It's Nelson and that woman speaking. Let's go. Go ahead, ma'am.
It, 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 it is, it's our due right. It's our due process. I don't tell. Do you have any idea how many laws are in Congress or ever have been in the United States regarding a man's penis? Tell me the number of bills, laws, or anything that have gone into Congress regarding how you use your penis.
I mean, you tell me. You're the genius on the stage. Let's talk about it.
Absolutely zero. None.
Okay.
Nada. Not one.
Uh huh.
At what point in time do you believe any man has a right to put hundreds, if not thousands, of laws into place regarding my body?
I mean, let's talk about it. Break down one law.
Okay.
Crickets.
No, not crickets. Trying
Name one
to
So
of those thousand laws, please.
that's
Break down the
actually not true.
points.
There are
Let's
laws
debate the
that the
point. Wait.
Congress have that
TC,
regulate your
one
body.
second. TC, don't spoil the content. Let's go, ma'am. Break down the first point.
my first point is choice. It's my choice how I do with my body.
Murder a baby. Yeah.
Whatever. If you knew anything about the female
You're a
body,
state. If you're in a
Yeah, one
state,
mic, guys. She's breaking down the point, guys. Let's not do that. Nelson asked
well,
the
then break
question.
it down the right way.
No, she's going to break it down her way. Go ahead, ma'am. I'm so sorry that these conservatives, they're violent.
no, that's fine. They can be
They're
conservative. Everybody
violent.
has the
They
right to
blew up
believe what they
the
want to
Murrow
believe.
building. Okay. They
Regardless
did the
of
Branch
what
Davidian.
people believe,
Okay.
regardless of what you
And they
believe,
did
Jonathan,
January
you're
6th.
fucked. You
And
are
they
so
did,
fucked when
and
I
they
get
did,
on here. You are so
regardless
and
fucked.
they
of
did
what you
January 6th.
believe,
So they're violent.
the
They're
Pro
violent
Supreme
American.
tendencies.
Court,
We're pro
Go
American
ahead,
over here.
go ahead, ma'am.
Yeah, but we didn't burn down buildings and beat people up and kill them during the summer of love. So you can bite a dick.
Man, you guys are buying her time right now.
Go, man. Swerve, go
Right?
ahead, Swerve.
Stop buying her time. Let her jump in.
no, that's fine. They can talk themselves to where they want to talk. I'm listening.
I
I
kind
just
of
want to
want.
know one of those laws. I just
Okay.
want,
So
I want her to name one law.
1 second. So basically, Nelson was right. You put together a bunch of talking points from some CNN headlines, you mixed it with some MSNBC, and you wrapped it up with some freaking Wall Street Journal, okay? Summarized it in Chat GPT, came on this
No, what
stage,
I'm
and
saying
read
is
off
that
that goddamn thing
everybody
like you
talks
goddamn
in
genius.
extremities. They
Didn't
talk
know a
to the
goddamn
extreme.
thing you were talking about.
I know everything I'm talking about.
You
Everybody's
can't
at
even break it
such an
down for me.
extreme. Everybody's at such an extreme state. It's like you want to go one way left, or you want to go all the way right, and that is one of the biggest problems that's been with this country. And it's not just Trump. It's every president. It's the right. It's the left. No one wants to sit and debate what really needs to go down. And you guys were talking earlier about, oh, if Mexico stays here or Canada stays there, then there would be absolutely no United States anyway. How would we have a United States if we did something like that?
Do you, ma'am, do you have the right to abort a baby where you
Yes, I
live?
do. No, yes, I do. Actually, the state is
Okay,
pro-choice,
good. So Trump didn't take it away from you, did he?
but he's working on it.
As of today, can you go abort a baby if you choose to,
It's yes, I
where
can.
you live? Okay, good. So he hadn't taken it away from you.
But he took it away from my
Now,
future
now,
kids.
now, now, do you want federal funding for that
He
as
took it
well?
away from people in Ohio. He took it away from people in Wisconsin. He took it away. It
No, no,
it's
no,
No,
no.
that was the
Only
people in
Ohio can do
Wisconsin
that.
and Ohio voting for that.
Only
That's
no,
Wisconsin
correct.
can do
It
Ohio
that.
wasn't
already
Totally
did
Trump.
it.
correct.
Since you lost on that one,
No, I
what's
didn't
another
lose.
thing
You
he's
guys,
taken away from you?
Stopped y'all from trying to be a man.
How about? Can I come in and help her out? Let's talk
No,
about
no.
this. Yeah,
I'd
no,
like
I can't come back.
Laura. We
Wait.
can come to you, Laura. We'll come to you in
Okay.
a second,
Well,
Laura.
that's all right. I may not have time then, but that's okay.
Uh,
I was helping
well,
her out, but that's all right. Go for it.
was well,
if
Trump hadn't made help illegal either, but let's see what she could do for herself first.
if
Crickets.
you don't understand the importance of my great grandmother doing what she did, and my grandmother doing what she did, and my mother doing what she did, you're never going to understand what I'm trying to say, or your mothers
What
doing
did
what they
what did
did.
your mother and grandmother and great grandmother do?
Tyranny,
The
the
suffragette
fact that we're allowed
movement.
to vote, fact that we're allowed to write. It's just the tip of the
Do you
iceberg. That the way
do
he
you
treats
still do
women,
you
the
still
way
have
he
the right to
talks
vote?
about women, it's degrading. It's total
Okay. So
misogyny.
you Trump's
So it's all
degraded you.
emotion, Grant. It's all emotion. It's not facts and rationale.
It's all
Okay, it's not
bullshit.
Yeah,
vaccinated.
whoa,
So
why
107
y'all double
days.
teaming that woman? Y'all triple teaming
Bull,
that woman.
bull,
Yo, we
bullshit.
got three men jumping on
Jonathan,
one
Jonathan,
woman.
Jonathan,
Three
you're
men on one
it's just the
woman.
way it usually
Mr.
Some
Bing.
works.
women like that stuff, Jonathan.
That's a fact, by the way. Mr. Bing, you're a
Yo.
very intelligent man. Listen, you are a very intelligent man. Mr. Bing, did this lady say anything of meaning in this room tonight? Keep it
Yes, she
real.
did. She did lay out. She did say that the abortion rights, and that's what Trump did appoint those judges, and those judges eventually did
It's
to kick
voted
roll
by the
kick.
states. The
Yeah.
people that live in those states either voted it in or voted it out.
All
What do
right,
you
good.
Roe
mean?
versus
Good.
Wade took away
Good. Good.
states' rights. Okay, states have the rights to determine what they do in their own state. Roe versus Wade should have never been a decision in the first place. So all Trump did was overturn Roe versus Wade with his judges to give it back to the states so that the people of those states can decide what's best for them in their states. End of
And
story.
therefore, you
Even Ruth
negate
Bader
anything from
Ginsburg
the
agreed
Supreme
with
Court,
that.
right? So the state should rule everything, and we should not have a Supreme Court.
This has
Therefore,
nothing.
the
Wait,
The
Biden.
Supreme Court's the only reason why the Supreme Court exists is to judge laws based on their constitutionality. That's it. You got it all
100%.
wrong.
In this specific case, the people that live in those states vote for what they want out of the states, just like we do everything else, by the way. So I don't see what the big deal is. I don't see why you pin this on Trump. I don't see why you say, "Oh, he overturned it in Ohio." I'm sorry, the people in Ohio wanted that for themselves. It's a democracy, right? I
No,
would
only
I,
a
I
portion
would
of people
venture to
wanted it.
say, you know what? I would venture to say that brings us closer to democracy than Roe versus Wade did. How about that? It gives the power back to the people in their states where they live. What's the big deal? What's the big deal?
Because it's
I'm, I'm,
not
I'm serious.
equal.
What's the big deal?
That is why we had to go
Good,
before the
good.
Supreme Court to begin with. And that's why we're fighting to go back to the Supreme Court.
Ma'am, you don't know what the hell you are talking about.
Jeez.
I would sit back and take some notes. Let's
I
get back
live
to the
in
stuff.
Conway, Nelson, and I just want you to know abortion is legal here up to 20 weeks.
Where's that, Tina?
Ohio,
So
Disgusting.
20 weeks. How many weeks is the full duration?
40.
So halfway through. Dr. Catherine, are we killing a baby at 20 weeks?
So, I'm glad you brought this term up. Killing a baby is very different than having a first trimester termination of products of conception. Okay. Because really, in the first few weeks, those cells are really products of conception. We do see a heartbeat at about 6 weeks. Okay. And so, like in Florida, you have 6 weeks to get a termination, and many women don't even know they skipped a period. So it puts a little crunch on the time. Viability of a fetus outside of a woman's body is closer to 26 weeks. So, again, it is a state's thing. It's also between the health of the
At 20
mother.
weeks, though, 20 weeks do you consider
It's disgusting.
this a baby? I'm saying this because I would
No,
call it a
it's
baby.
pretty hard to find a physician who would agree with the 20-week termination.
So,
Yeah. Get,
I
so,
wouldn't
so,
even
but,
I
but
wouldn't even agree with
she
20
just
weeks.
said that 20 weeks. Tina said 20 weeks in Ohio you can
Grant.
terminate.
Grant. 1 second.
I just want to know this. She's a doctor. Do you consider 20 weeks a baby?
But hold on. Before she answers that, I want to throw something else in
No,
there.
no. I'm
No,
asking
no.
her a
So
question.
Grant. Listen to me. I'm good.
Real
We're good.
quick. Reset the
Hold.
room, then. Reset the
No,
room,
no,
folks.
Grant.
You're
This is
listening
Grant.
to
Grant.
debate
Grant.
the news.
Grant. This is good for you. Hold on, man. See, you're such a conservative. You don't know what something. First of all, and I support her position, but you were wrong. Wisconsin and Ohio. Ohio is actually 23 weeks. Wisconsin is actually 21 weeks and 6 days of pregnancy. So they're actually further along than what she said. I just wanted to put that out there to make sure that the information is correct.
So I
That's all.
just want
John,
to
my
I
point
want to understand
exactly.
this. At
She doesn't know what
21
she's talking
days,
about.
You
at
No,
are
20,
21
correct. I'm
weeks,
sorry.
21.
6 days.
No, yes, yeah, 23 weeks in
You
Ohio.
are
23
correct.
weeks in
Ohio and
Ohio.
Wisconsin.
Okay, at 23 weeks and 1 day. Now we have a baby and it's illegal. But at 23 weeks, it's fine to terminate.
Yes, 23 weeks. You can
So at
terminate.
21 weeks, the other one was 21 weeks. At 21 weeks and
21
one
weeks and six
hour,
days. No, 21 weeks and 6 days.
21 weeks, 6 days and 1 hour
Okay.
and 1 hour. We are
Just
murdering.
FYI, there was a 6-week ban. Ohio had a law banning abortions after 6 weeks of pregnancy, but it was blocked by a judge. It's not currently in. So it is in argument right now.
Yeah, it should be.
That
Well, that's not
judge
what you
needs to
said.
be
That's not
fucking
what you
thrown
said.
out.
I, you're correct. I did not say that, and I will always admit when I don't properly say things right. I'm not afraid to
Of
say
course,
that.
and I'm on your side. I just want to make sure that no
Ma'am,
matter.
do you also agree with Nelson that you just pulled a bunch of talking points from the internet? Really don't know what you're talking
No, I
about?
did
You
not
agree with
pull a
that?
bunch of talking points from the internet. I do
But
Okay, so
do
absolutely
you agree,
100%
ma'am? Do you agree
believe.
that somebody talking about themselves in first person, like Nelson is signs of a narcissist?
I agree.
You guys
I
don't
agree.
believe that when you have a
wait,
minister,
wait.
when we
How did I
have
talk about
someone
myself in
running
first
our,
person? That's crazy,
Nelson, you call yourself by your
You
name.
agree now? You agree with Nelson?
dude.
well,
She
and you
doesn't
guys
know
are
who
all
I am. She's on a
focusing on
different
the
platform.
abortion. What about vaccinations?
Let's go
Like
to
we can,
vaccinations right after
Aye,
we
aye,
Oh,
reset.
aye.
we can
Yo,
do
we're gonna
Ladies,
do a
that.
reset. Grant, let's do a reset before we go
ladies
to
and gentlemen, you're
vaccination.
listening to Debate the News. If you're on a podcast, listen to this right now. After the fact, you should join us by downloading the Chatter app at the Chatter App Store or the App Store. And you can be part of the audience, part of the action, part of the
well,
debate,
I'm
part of
going
the
to go
rightness
ahead
and
and
the
say goodnight.
wrongness,
You
the
guys are all,
sanity and the insanity that happens every night in this room, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time sharp. We start sharp. We're on time because that's what Jonathan brings night after night.
Uh,
Let's go.
yo, let's go. Yo, I appreciate that, man. That's a hell of a reset right there. And that is a perfect segue to our friend Patriot Rob and his timeline, his dateline. Patriot Rob, let's go.
Crap, man. I'm still working on it. I got three
Yeah,
things. That's
yeah.
all I
See,
got.
that's why that
That's all I
doesn't
got,
work,
man. I
John.
got three things.
Let's do
I got
it.
three things.
Let's do it.
All right. So Justice Alito, in a scathing dissent, lambasted his fellow justices over the halting of the Illegal Alien Removal Act. He said that his dissent said basically that they did it at the beginning of the night, in the middle of the night, and that they had no right to do it. Both the executive and judiciary have an obligation to follow the law, and he believes that his fellow justices are overstepping their authority with this. Yesterday, there were competing rallies in Texas over the Austin Metcalf murder. There was the release Carmelo Anthony, drop all the charges rally, and then there was the Protect White Lives rally by a white guy and a black guy. Jake Lang from J6 fame and Philip Anderson, black guy from J6 fame also. They both took to the streets. Both groups took to the streets to talk about their sides, and I just have a monologue on that, and then I'll close up because I don't want to go too long. Because unfortunately,
Rob,
with this,
is this the start of White Lives Matter?
it's
I
the
want to
start
know
of white lives are idiots.
which rally did
White
you
lives are
attend?
idiots.
Which rally did
I
you
didn't.
attend, Rob?
First of all, I don't live in Texas. I live in New Hampshire. Okay, and second of all, I wouldn't attend either one of them
Oh,
because both sides are fucking idiots.
okay.
Talk your shit, Rob.
So listen, unfortunately, with this whole Austin Metcalf situation, it's all noise. It's all fucking noise, and it's designed to incite division. The noise is so loud and overwhelming that the most important aspect of this whole entire situation is getting drowned out, guys. A young man was murdered. Plain and simple. Someone's child is dead. Dead. We as parents, we're not supposed to bury our children. Our parents are supposed to be we're supposed to be burying our parents. And with all the bullshit that's spewing out of the mouths of both sides, that fact is lost 100%. The fact that a child is dead. And irrespective of my personal beliefs, my political beliefs, my beliefs on race or religion, I am a father first, and that fact transcends all the other noise. I, unfortunately, one time in my life had to bury my son, and nothing mattered to me in that situation than when my son died in my arms and he was gone. These people are sycophants. They're so desperate for attention and in dire need of distraction from their own miserable fucking lives that they glam onto situations like this, insert themselves, and feign this moral superiority and outrage. because they have no lives. This country is sick, as far as I'm concerned. Sick in the head, being programmed by social media to react with your base emotions. A child died, and all these people care about is being the first with an edgy take, gaining clout, clicks, and subs. A child died. I do believe that Carmelo Anthony deserves to go to jail for life, but not because he's black, because he took somebody's life. It has nothing to do with it. If this situation was a white kid murdering a white kid or a black kid murdering a black kid, I'd feel the same. I take race out of this whole entire situation. The fact is, at the end of the day, two families are destroyed. And all either side cares about right now is making this a race issue. And you know what? Both sides, you all fucking disgust me.
My condolences for your loss, Rob.
Rob, all right, Rob, absolutely, Rob. I love the passion, and
Hey! What are you doing? You got to critique everybody's
yeah, we
delivery
might do
after the
it.
fact.
No, I'm not critiquing. I love the passion. That's all I'm saying. I love the
Weird.
passion.
It's weird. By the way, I don't think it's sycophants. I think it's psychophants. Rob.
No, it's definitely sycophant, Grant.
Is it really?
Yep, it's sycophant.
It's sycophant.
Damn.
Even
I got
two
to look
times
that
on
up.
Sunday.
Sycophantic. Sycophantic.
Thank you. I learned something.
Learn grammar, bro.
Hey, now let's go back to the lady that was talking about the vaccine because I think she was on to something.
Let's do it.
The young lady was talking about she was off the abortion thing because she lost that argument and she was moving on to vaccines.
She's going to lose on the vaccine argument, too, because I got one in the fucking pipe for that one.
Yeah, are you this for going twice? All right, so we're gonna go back to it.
Did Carlos leave the room? I think I offended Carlos earlier.
Nah, he here.
Okay, Carlos, I hope I didn't offend you. I was just playing, bro.
Carlos don't give a damn about that.
Yeah,
Okay.
Carlos, yeah.
Thank
What are
you.
you talking? What are you playing about?
No. Somebody said he had left the room, and I punched him kind of hard earlier. So.
No.
Oh, I didn't even hear it, Grant. I went to go watch my Astros game.
Oh, okay. How they doing? They winning?
We down 2-1.
Yeah, so anyway, the Astros. But hey, guys, anyway, this vaccine, once again, I don't know where the woman was going with the vaccine. I know the vaccine is a very controversial issue, and we have crazy people like Angela in here now.
They killed a lot of people. It's not that controversial.
I don't think it killed a lot of people. I think it saved a lot of people's lives, Grant. Because once we got that vaccine, and I want to say thank you to President Donald Trump for warp speed and creating and authorizing that vaccine, because if Donald Trump hadn't done that, I think a lot of people would have lost their lives. So I want to make sure John Trump gets the credit that he deserves. Yeah,
You are a goofy fuck sometimes, Jonathan. I swear to God. I can't get a read on you. What the fuck?
That's a fact. That's a fact. What are you talking about? I haven't said anything wrong.
And then most Trump supporters go, no, we don't give him credit for fucking warp speed. Are you fucking shitting me? There's not one Trump supporter that I know that says, oh, yeah, you did a great job with warp speed. Not one.
Yeah, but did he do warp speed? Yes or no?
Yes, he did.
Okay. Great job.
We don't give him credit for that. We go, you got fucking snowed, you idiot.
Well, I want to say thank you. Once again, that's a leader. He was a leader. In that moment, he was a leader. So, and, you got to give him credit for the things they did. So, 100%. Without Donald Trump, we wouldn't have had the vaccines and to be mandated or anything else, to save lives, to be mandated or anything else. It was his vision, his leadership, okay, and his fortitude and tenacity to make sure that he got the job done to protect Americans.
If you guys can't pick up the fact that there's sarcasm just pouring out of this man's
there's no sarcasm at all. You got to get a man credit.
Ignorant.
Got to get a man credit. So, and for you guys, listen to me. There's no doubt in my mind that there have been some people that has been injured by the vaccines. Just like there are people and that have been injured, by any therapeutic or prophylactic that's out there, medicine. So, and that's unfortunate, and they should be compensated, and it should be fixed. And their medical stuff should be taken care of, by by. But here's the thing. Yeah, I'm gonna walk that back just a little bit because I do believe that they should be taken care of. But the reason that we have that in place is because no one wanted to make vaccines in America any longer. The government put that in place to protect the pharmaceutical companies from not making vaccines. And guys, we need vaccination. Vaccinations are pretty much almost double our lives. Okay, because of vaccination, we don't have to worry about rubella. We don't have to worry about whooping cough. We don't have to worry about all those things that smallpox and measles.
Bro, is this show sponsored by Fiverr, like Pfizer? What the fuck is going on, man?
No, no.
No, I
Listen,
saw a little Merc symbol up in the corner there.
I mean, real shit. Like, dude, are you paid?
am I paid? No,
Are you
I'm not
paid?
paid. I'm just saying. I think that the vaccine. If we're going to argue the vaccine, I wanted to put that out there. So now that I put that out there, anyone else wants to jump in? I think that the
Hi, Tito.
vaccines. Good.
It's Angela speaking. How do you talking about compensation? How do you compensate a generation?
What do you mean compensated generation?
A generation of young kids who were taken out of school. How do you compensate that? I just want to know if we're talking about money or what is it? What does that compensation there
What are you
look
talking about?
like
They were
to you?
taken out of school for a year, if that. What are you
Oh,
talking about?
okay. They were taken out of school for a year. They're now learning on computers. It's a whole different way of
No, they're
learning.
back to
What
school.
about
I
the
don't know. If,
generations? What about the generations, the future generations of the vaccine mistakes or what haps for future generations that were taken by pregnant women? We still don't know. So if we're talking compensation, it's silly talk. Trump did get the job done in warp speed, but he wasn't the one to put the mandate on. But yes, kudos to Trump for getting the job done that needed to be done at the time it needed to be done, whatever it was. So I agree with you on that, but not about the compensation. You can't compensate a generation. You
okay,
can't.
so no compensation. I agreed. I said I didn't think about that either. I agree. They should get nothing because once again they were out trying to save mankind. So if that's what you're saying, then look, I won't argue with you. So there's nothing left to argue about. Guys, I do know this that prior to the vaccine, a lot of people were dying, and there were people begging to get the vaccines. And we in America, guys, if you look at America and you look at our death rate and our life expectancy, it dropped because as a result of COVID. Okay, because that year that COVID happened, so many Americans died. So that didn't come from nowhere. I mean, you guys agree that COVID's real now, and hell, Grant was saying it was invented in a lab just the other day. Okay, and it was leaked from a lab, is what he said. So,
It will.
excuse me.
But that is
You
true,
can't
Jonathan.
debate that, Bing.
Okay, but if it was leaked from a lab and then that means it was real, that means we had to have something to stop it.
What? What do you mean? They had to have something that stopped it.
What
If
I
they
said,
purposely created something in a lab in Wuhan to hurt and depopulate the world, how is that? I don't understand what you're saying. That's what's.
what I'm saying is,
Have you
if it
seen
was,
COVID.gov yet? You should check it out. It's an amazing
yeah,
website.
it's an amazing website because of the propaganda, misinformation. It's not even propaganda; it's misinformation that was put up there
Hmm.
by the White House,
But
and it was just put up there 2 days ago.
Mr. Bang, I mean, let's get a few things straight,
Let's
okay?
do it.
Definitely credit to President Trump. I mean, putting together Operation Warp Speed. I mean, absolutely, that goes to President Trump. President Trump wasn't the president though that mandated the vaccine. President Trump wasn't the president that led while servicemen were getting discharged for not taking the vaccine. Right, nurses who had literally spent their time, energy, right, effort. I mean, moving through states, traveling, right, to protect people. President Trump wasn't the one that presided over them getting fired. Somebody, Patriot Rob, you got to unmute your mic whenever you're not speaking, right? President Trump didn't do that. And beyond all that, right, the fact that those vaccines didn't work as we thought they would, right, and we still kept mandating people to have them,
We were promised they would.
right? That wasn't done by President Trump. You understand what I'm saying? So the COVID situation is still a touchy one for a lot of people, and I'm pretty sure there are a lot of listeners out there listening to me right now agreeing with everything I'm saying. So, I mean, unless you want to turn this into a Biden Trump thing, I would advise maybe we pivot on this one, unless you want to dive into it.
Well, most of us know that they used COVID to steal the election. So you guys have gone a long way from Trump ruining USA because you've lost on the abortion comment the lady was pitching earlier. Now the vaccine thing, you will die. You cannot win the vaccine argument. The mandate, the shutting schools down, the
Yeah, but
plexiglass.
Grant, who used?
Who am I?
You got to put a name on it. Who used COVID to steal the election?
The Biden, the Biden administration. I
But
mean,
how did they do that when they weren't in power?
uh, many people believe that COVID was manufactured and released purposely to steal that election.
That's a fact.
Donald Trump was gathering tremendous momentum from his rallies as he had the year before. He would just have to wait 4 years later for them to be even bigger. So he had his asset was to speak directly to the people in formats in live open arenas, both outside and inside. And that stopped that. It also covered up Joe Biden from ever having to speak in public. If you remember, Joe Biden was basically in a basement the entire 3.5 years selling the election or to the people. And this is how they ended up stealing the election because this is when they got approved the mail-in ballots.
So
Bullshit.
you're saying he stole the election by campaigning from his basement, and he still beat Trump.
No, I'm
That
saying I'm
He
saying
didn't say that at all.
ballots stole the election.
So veterans must steal the election every time they got to vote because they only do mail-in ballots.
But you needed more than the veterans. No one's ever gotten that many votes. Obama didn't get that many votes. But Joe Biden got more votes than Obama? Come on,
Yeah,
guys.
because they had something to vote against. Ain't nobody want his crazy ass.
What happened? What happened last year? Then what happened in November?
I think there's 10 million less liberals and Democrats that think a woman should be president then, because that's how many less votes Kamala got than Biden. Is that what you're going to go with, libs?
See, you guys lose this argument every time.
Well,
Come on,
who
guys.
uses
There's a
the
lot of
election?
people in this room. Audience, you're welcome to talk. You do not have to ask for
So
permission.
one thing, yeah, but one thing that Donald Trump, he failed on, Grant, was he did not emphasize really like he should have the therapeutics that he knew that they were out there early on. He did touch points on them, but he let Fauci pretty much run him over on these particular issues. And to me, that does show a sign of weakness because as a president of the bully pulpit, he knew that hydroxychloroquine, ivermectin, and these particular other therapeutics were actually effective against this particular illness, but he
Allegedly,
did not
allegedly,
mind it. Oh no, ain't
allegedly,
no allegedly. Ain't no
allegedly.
allegedly. There is no allegedly. No, no, no. You don't want to. You don't really want to go down this one. Dr. Copa can't save you on this one. And you got to remember something.
Yeah,
When
I
somebody
noticed that.
is really, when somebody is vying for their life, I'm just telling you, when somebody's vying for their life and they got 70 oxygen, you don't go to.
And I think if you guys remember correctly, uh, Donald Trump was suggesting that the American public use these other products. He was speaking on behalf of the other products. Joe Rogan was talking about ivermectin and got canceled. Show got shut down. CNN went and said, "Oh, you're using horse tranquilizers," called it some crazy thing.
Okay.
okay,
Yeah, did you see this?
even the
I
makers of even the maker of ivermectin, which is Merck, they're not sponsoring this room, right? Even though all you guys want to talk about is ivermectin, I find this hilarious.
How much does
Merck put out a
ivermectin sell for,
statement.
Catherine?
It's cheap, but they can still make tons of money if you've got millions and billions of people taking. If it was effective for
But,
COVID,
but, but, but how much is
and they
they
can
would
raise the
have
ivermectin?
price, and they can raise the
monetized that.
price, and they can
Oh
raise
How
the
yeah,
much is
they
price.
would have
ivermectin
changed the
by the
dose a
tab?
little bit. Yeah, no, Merck was the first to say ivermectin is not effective for clinical SARS-CoV-2 infection, and that's been
Well,
established. Listen,
no,
when you have a survivorship of a virus, that the alpha strain was about a 1% infant infection mortality or case fatality rate. Now it's more like 1 in 1,000 cases. Um, so it's a far less pathogenic virus that happens over years. And so when you're looking at a population of people that happen to be taking ivermectin, 99 of them out of 100 are going to get better whether they're taking the ivermectin or not. Okay, so it's confusing to people, but you're not hearing about all the people that took ivermectin and still went to the ICU and died because they're dead.
What's the case? Show us a case.
There's
Are you saying
thousands
die
of
from COVID?
cases. You died
Are
from
you saying die from?
COVID.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about ivermectin.
Yeah. No, I'm saying you could take ivermectin and still die of COVID.
Do you think ivermectin saved
And one of the,
anybody's life or monoclonal
well,
antibodies?
Yeah, absolutely. The monoclonal antibodies
Do
saved a
you
lot
think
of lives, including President
it?
Trump's Regeneron. Absolutely.
Do you think it? I mean, am I saying that right? That ivermectin could be like a therapeutic or like something to help with
It
it?
was studied as a therapeutic, and it didn't have the efficacy that you see with Paxlovid and the monoclonal antibodies. Actually, metformin, which is a anti-diabetes drug, had better efficacy than ivermectin for acute SARS-CoV-2 infection.
Do you think there was a push against using ivermectin in the media,
I
even
think
making
people
fun
just
of it?
didn't want there to be some false reassurance that you shouldn't need or require advanced medical care because you got ivermectin in your cabinet and it's going to save you from COVID.
but they gave us an overassurance that the vaccine would work repeatedly, saying it will
Remember,
work. It
when
will
we
work,
say
Catherine.
vaccines
Catherine,
work,
they
they
said
work
they
to
said
reduce
no.
complications of
They said
infection.
no. They
I know
said
you're right. There were some politicians who completely misspoke
no.
and said if
Dr.
you take the
Fauci's not a
vaccine,
politician, and
now
he
Fauci,
said when
play
you
me a
take it.
thing. Okay.
When you take it, you won't get it. When you take it, you won't give it to other people. When you take it, you're protected. Like,
In the
and
first
they
few
were.
months, that was actually true. But after Delta came, the Delta variants changed those statistics.
So what about the ones that said that hey, this is going to produce variants? Nobody took account for the variants, and the biggest
No,
hypocrite
they
to me.
always knew about the variants. Fauci
Hold
was
on,
the first to admit that he was shocked we even came up with a vaccine. We've been trying to get a vaccine for HIV for decades. We still don't have one.
Green, you know Pat Bet David, right?
yeah,
Pat Bet David had the biggest hypocrite in media on his show, Chris Cuomo. And Chris Cuomo is taking ivermectin for long COVID after he demonized the damn drug. And then when he's on Pat Bet David, because he had a debate on that show, he's literally getting cooked by this guy because all of his work and past favors come back to haunt him. He could not do anything on that debate stage. Go back this whole week ago, look at that particular debate and judge for yourself whether or not CNN was biased against therapeutics.
Well,
And let's just ask
and
Nelson.
that's
Nelson
what Catherine
personal.
just said. She said they didn't want to give us assurances about over. I forget what the word you used exactly, but it was like they didn't want to get us overconfident or about the assurances of ivermectin, but they sure spent a lot of fucking time telling us the vaccine was going to be make everybody safe.
The vaccines having to be given twice, two, three times, four times a year. How many shots do you got to get every year now?
Thank you.
I thought it was a one time and done, or two times and done.
And
Now
you
you got to
see
get
the
them
same
every
thing
year.
with Trump, guys. Trump
Yeah,
never.
that's not how RNA viruses work. Like the influenza vaccine is recommended every year, and in some patient populations, it's twice the flu season. So,
But they didn't say that. Say
No,
that.
they said it was a preventative vaccine, which it was not.
The room is, has Trump ruined the USA? Trump never mandated the vaccine. Trump came out one time and said, "Hey, if you want to take it, go take it." He didn't sell it hard like he does other things. Also, I want to say one other thing that might mean nothing to anyone here. But did anybody here other than me notice that neither Kamala or Trump brought up the vaccine in any of the debating over the 9 months? Neither
No.
party. It's almost like they had an agreement not to bring up the vaccine.
That's interesting. I never really thought about that.
Neither party ever brought up anything to do with COVID or the vaccine the entire election period.
And that would be something like they would always go back and forth with each other, like a topic, but neither one did.
Never touched it.
Huh.
That's interesting, Grant. And it's also true. Probably the first true thing you said all fucking year long. So, yo, guys, give Grant a round of applause, man, because he said something true. So, absolutely.
And we have 80% of the room saying Trump did not ruin the USA, by the way. So I don't know where all the liberals went tonight. Have they gone to sleep? Have
There's only 11 responses, or now 13. So let's.
bro, details. Big deal.
That's true.
He's right.
Good poll. It's a good poll.
Yeah, you don't woke him up now. But let me just
It's
say
a
this right.
great poll, if I might say so myself. Be part of the 9% contributors and take that poll, please. I voted no.
It's
So
going
anyway,
down right now. It's going down. So it looks like
yeah,
some of the extremists are starting to vote now.
because you guys woke it up and said something. But here's the thing. So anyway, Grant, going back to because you said something that wasn't correct. You said Biden just hid in the basement and he didn't come out. He actually debated Trump. In fact, Trump had COVID when Biden debated him. Okay, and Trump came very close to the president, even though he knew he had COVID. He debated him with COVID instead of just saying, "Hey,
I
I'm
wouldn't
not."
go there, Jonathan. Everybody turned on him within minutes on every news station. Come on, let's
Turn on
call it the
who?
way it is.
Turn on who?
Turned on Biden.
No, we're talking about the first time around since he doing COVID.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the last one. Sorry, I stepped away. Either way,
Hey, Jonathan, I'm back.
Conservatives, the
by the way,
MAGAs.
I think that was also
Conservatives, the
planned to turn
MAGAs,
on
guys.
Biden.
These conservatives, the MAGA people.
Hey, hey, hey,
No,
hey.
I think they turned on Biden on purpose. How's that? Because
You know
they
what's?
knew.
I'll tell you what it was, Cindy. It was the whole men and women's sports. It was the whole, hey, if you're not for open borders, you're bigoted. It was the whole, hey, if you don't support, Roe v. Wade, you're anti-woman. Like when you get faced with that type of stuff so many times, it makes you reconsider: do I really belong in this party? Like we talk about it all the time, and Grant is one of the number one people that has my back when I'm getting lambasted on these stages for doing just that. And Jonathan, you know it's the truth. Even you know there's some shit that the liberals do that you can't get with, and you're like, holy shit, this is very radical. And that's what does it for folks, unfortunately.
Did he just say anything at all?
Yeah,
Or-
he said that's what does it for
We just
folks, unfortunately. So anyway, with
Well,
that
then
being,
that's the Democratic Party's fault that we have all these migrants that walked right through. Right? Can we agree with that? Now Trump
no,
is
that's
cleaning
both
up
sides.
that
Not
mess.
just that,
no, no,
Cindy.
No,
If
no, it's
you
not. No,
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 no, no.
no.
I'm saying
Nora?
James O'Keefe did
No,
an
I'm not
expose
talking to you. I'm
on how
talking
they
to
were actually flying in migrants, and there was Delta whistleblowers who were talking about how they were boarding planes full of illegal immigrants and trying to get them in before the election, and then trying to give them the ability to vote. Like they didn't just let people walk in here; like they were like actively illegally trafficking people into this country.
Who is they? Just put a name on it for us.
Democrats.
No, no, we gotta have a name though. We just can't say Democrats.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, the
Then
whistleblowers
why won't
were.
we just get the people here?
Obama.
Why would we have to fly people in to get them to vote? Why won't we just let the people here that's already here legally vote instead of having to flying new ones to vote? I don't understand that shit.
Because you
That's some dumb
lost.
shit. That's some dumb shit. But go ahead.
No, I mean, like you can just look this up. It's like
Okay,
you
but it
can just go
doesn't
look
matter how
at
they got
Jim's.
here. Was it the most in 4 years, the most to ever come through this country illegally?
Yes.
Okay, I rest my case. So now who's going to clean that mess up?
Guys, let me just say something here, guys. What Republicans do and what they're doing is this right here. The border was closed down, guys, and no one was coming over because of COVID. Okay, and during the whole COVID, people weren't outside, people weren't coming over the border, and everything else. All right, because everyone's afraid of that shit. Now, once the border opened, all that pent up, that's sort of like, that pent up, I guess, people that have been waiting to go. They came. Now the Biden administration should have done a better job. I'm going to tell you that they could have and should have done a better job than what they did with the immigration and the border situation. I'll say that 100%. All right, but we also have to look up at that pent up, people that pent up anxiety, where people were waiting to come across, all of a sudden coming across. They stopped coming across in 2020, March 2020, when the world shut down. They weren't trying to come across, and that happened for about a year, and a lot of people
All
after
right,
that.
so give me the numbers. What came in 19, 18, 17, and 16 to what came in 21, 22, 23?
That's what I said. That was after COVID ended. Started ended.
Again, what? How many came in prior? How many came in after? Does
I
anybody
don't
have
have it in
those
front. I don't
numbers?
have it. I don't have it
Well,
in
you
front of me
guys
right
are the
now.
Google machines here, not me. So somebody
Yeah,
Google it.
yeah.
No,
I
numbers don't lie, Jonathan.
Yeah, numbers don't lie. Cindy, I just said to you that the numbers were quite high. I
Okay.
said that. I said that the Biden administration should have
And
done a
what did
better
Trump
job.
want to do? He wanted to build a wall,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah. He wanted to build a wall, but Cindy, you
Mexico was
sounded
going
so
to
sure. But Cindy, I got to stop because you sounded so sure about the numbers. Can you give me the numbers now?
No, no. I just was watching on TV, so I've never Googled the numbers, but I probably should.
Okay,
Would you like me
okay.
to do that?
yeah,
Yeah,
like
let's do
somebody
that.
all
Matter of
up.
fact, use
Somebody
Duck
that's
Because
Duck
Donald
Go.
faster.
Use
Somebody
Duck Duck
that's
Go if it
faster
makes you
than
feel
the old
better.
lady.
Use Duck Duck Go if it makes you feel better. All right.
Somebody Google that for me, please. Please.
yeah, but who stopped Trump from building the wall? Because he had a whole plan in place. He's not able to implement his own plan because he said who was going to
No,
pay for it.
because
Who did he say was going to pay for
Congress controls our tax dollars. He can't just spend our tax dollars. Congress has to
it? Yeah, but he
approve that
said that
money for
somebody
him
else
to
was going to pay
spend.
for it. Who did he
What's
say
that?
was going to pay for it? Who did he
Well,
say was
come
going to pay
on.
for that?
Like, if you want to just do, if you're not going to have like a reasonable like conversation, like then
He
don't
said
have a conversation.
Mexico, since she don't want to
Yeah,
answer
Well, no,
the
that was
it's not that I don't want
reasonable,
to answer that.
but
It's that
it's
but
a
you
reasonable
literally
question.
she
asked
is tap
why he
dancing
couldn't.
all
You
around
Yeah,
that.
that's
asked
a
why he
reasonable
couldn't,
question.
and you knew the, and I told you the answer to it, and then you just wanted to turn it back into, oh, Trump's dumb because he said Mexico would pay for it, and that
Who
I was
said
just answering
that?
the question because that was legally why he's unable to build the wall.
You realize your response makes no sense
How does
because
it not make sense?
he did not
Congress
say that
is
Congress would pay for it. He said
responsible.
that Mexico would. So your point is moot. It brings no value here. What
It's
he
not
said
moot
was
because he can't.
Mexico
It,
would pay. What he said was Mexico would pay for the wall. That's who he said it. You bringing up
no,
the
he
fact
didn't.
that
He said
Congress
no, no,
did.
no. He asked.
Okay, well,
Asked
go ahead. You got it.
why didn't Trump wasn't Trump able to build the wall? That's what he asked. He didn't say anything about Mexico. He asked me why isn't Trump able to build the wall? And I'm not stupid. I didn't think that Mexico was going to pay to build a wall, but the actual correct answer is he couldn't pay for the wall on his own or using taxpayer dollars without congressional appropriation. Like,
You
and
were
they
you
didn't
were
appropriate the money
asked
to him. They
you
denied
were
him the money.
asked
He
who
attempted
did
to.
Trump say would pay for the wall?
No, I wasn't. Can you, if the person who asked the question, can you clarify what you actually asked? Because you said
I mean,
Trump said
I asked.
Trump couldn't. Why couldn't Trump?
I asked who did Trump. I asked who stopped Trump from building the wall. Then I asked who did Trump say was going to pay
Yeah.
for it.
Then I answered Congress.
Who did
He never
Trump
mentioned.
say would build the wall? Was that not your second
But
question?
Congress is who
Would
stopped him
pay
from
to
building the
build the wall?
wall. Mexico didn't stop him. They just didn't pay for it. Okay. Like,
Are you
you
related
need
to
that much
Angela?
clarification?
No, because you don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my
What
God.
what
I don't know
Carlos
what I'm
at?
talking
Well,
about.
maybe pause a little bit. If you heard Carlos, can you ask your second question again?
Who did Trump say was going to pay for the wall?
Okay, yeah, you didn't ask that before. You said
Oh
who
my god.
stopped Trump from building the wall.
Oh
If you
my
want to
god.
change what you said, then like you can fucking change it. Like I
She
don't need.
didn't. She
I'm not
didn't.
gonna.
He
I'm not gonna
didn't
answer
change it.
I'm not gonna give a rational answer to a question that is, a gotcha question because that's bullshit.
How is that a gotcha question? You're gonna use Trump's words, Trump's answers and responses are gotcha responses. Trump said out of his mouth that and Mexico is gonna pay for it. How is that a gotcha question? Did you not hear what Trump said? Or are we doing the whole Trump translating thing? Well, Trump, he said that Mexico was going to pay for it, but what he meant to say was that Congress was going to pay for it, but Congress can't pay for it because Congress didn't approve it. Which one is it? You can't have all three. I need y'all to get up here and know what you're talking about.
I
Carlos'
never
question
said
was very
anything
simple.
about Mexico
And
paying for the
oh,
wall.
okay. No one said
I
you
never
said
believed
that.
that.
He said,
No,
what did
I
Trump say?
didn't.
No one
Are you
said you
retarded?
did. Are
I
you
never. I
okay?
literally already said
Are you
no.
dumb?
You can either lack
Are
the
you dumb?
comprehension skills to understand
I
my
don't I
answer,
don't
or
think
you're
you're
just
listening
trolling. I
to
don't know.
what's being said. Oh, I think you're trolling us with your intellect because
I
this is
think that
wild. I
you
feel
literally
dumber for
have
listening
one
to you.
sentence available in your head, and that is
Guys, no,
I
Trump
feel
no.
dumber
said
for listening to
Mexico was
you.
going to build the wall, and you can't seem to comprehend how actual, like,
I wish you would
taxpayer
understand
payer
English to
appropriation
understand the
actually works
question
and
was
how
very
infrastructure
simple.
projects actually happen. Because it is actually ridiculous that he even said, oh, Trump would pay for the wall, because how, like, to say that a United States infrastructure project is going to be paid for by another country, that should be on its face, like, obviously ridiculous. Like, I recognize that, I'm not an
Then,
idiot,
then
but
why
he
would he say
asked
to? Then
if
why would he
Trump
say
had
to
a
his
plan to build the
constituents?
wall, and he did try to get money from Congress, and Congress did not approve his appropriations to build the wall. He wanted $10 billion. They didn't give it to him.
Then why, if it's absurd, then why say it to your voters? Why say it?
I mean, I don't know. I'm not defending that part. I
But
was just trying to explain to
Nora,
her why the
you're
wall
an
didn't get
attorney.
built.
Nora, you're an attorney, right? So tell us why. What is that called? If he knowingly lied to his constituents, I mean the voters. I mean, is he honest? Is
No,
he?
no, he's definitely not honest all the time. But like, I'm not gonna say like, oh, Trump is like, oh, always like right, or Trump always like says things that are true, or oh, like, I mean, I'm not just like a fucking sycophant, but like, just don't come at me with stupid shit like that. And think that like I'm not prepared to answer the question the correct way, because as soon as he realized Mexico wasn't paying for it, he did seek the appropriate channels to get taxpayer money to build the wall. And the question that was asked was, Trump had a plan. Why didn't Trump build the wall? You were going too far back with Mexico. He already realized Mexico wasn't going to pay for it, and then he went to Congress, and Congress didn't approve the money he wanted to build the wall, and that.
The more important thing is he lied and said how much wall he did build, and we do remember him appropriating, I think, some military funding. Somebody could correct me on that. He did get some funds together. Materials were gathered, and then he lied and said how many miles of wall he built when he actually did it. So how about that part?
How about Biden selling pieces of the wall for pennies on the
We're
dollar
not talking about
just
Biden
before
right now.
leaving
We're not
office?
talking
Divine,
about Biden.
who did Trump say would pay for the wall?
My
Mexico.
God, is
Oh,
that all you can
oh, okay.
say? You have
There we
nothing to
go. That's
fucking
a
offer
simple
this conversation.
question. No, we're all dumber. Thank you for your contributions.
Hey, chat,
And
you're
if you
just
have no
gaslighting
plan,
her.
if you have a plan without any
Here
dollar
we go.
figure attached to it, it's not a plan. Maybe a concept. Go chat.
Chat, you're gaslighting her. Let me ask you a question. Why didn't Trump build the wall?
Gaslighting?
She's gaslighting. No, look
No
it
one
up.
is
I'm
gaslighting you.
asking.
Have you heard anything?
You are gaslighting.
Y'all not
Here comes the
no.
I heard it
content.
all. You
We
know
are
what I
not
heard?
parenting right now. We're
You
having an
know what I? You know
intellectual
what I heard?
conversation. Let's have the
I heard
conversation
a
and
grown
not throw
woman.
social media terminology that we don't even understand the meaning of it
I know
around.
you don't. I heard a grown woman speaking extremely respectful to another grown woman, and it's disgusting. Thank you for calling her dumb. Just listening to it makes me
Retard.
sick.
You didn't hear her call me a
Ew!
retard?
Oh my God! Please,
You didn't hear
chat. Can
that?
you please stop? Chat.
All right, guys. One mic. Let's not do. All right, guys. Welcome to Debate the News. Hey, guys, if you guys are listening to us at home, make sure you guys are downloading the Shadow Social app. The Shadow Social app can be downloaded either at the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. Also, folks, it's free of charge. Free of charge. We do these rooms nightly and every night. We do these rooms live, and you can come participate. Also, if you're in the room up top, we have the logos. Actually, believe it or not, folks, we got new logos being made as we speak. Coy MC did one version of it, pretty freaking awesome, and he's updating it again. as we speak right now. Hopefully, we'll have it up top before the end of the show. But make sure you guys download, click the link up top, like the podcast, and follow the podcast. Once again, click the link up top, like the podcast, and follow the podcast. We're going to jump right into it. The question at hand is: has Trump ruined America? All right, the USA. Um, I came out and I said pretty resounding yes. He hasn't ruined it yet, but he's well on his way to it. That's what I'm at. That's why I said. And so the floor is open, and we have both platforms here. Guys, feel free to jump in with what you have to say. Divine, you're in education, all right, and you just jumped in and you spoke about the wall. What do you have to add to this?
Um, I'm waiting for the greatness to begin. I don't see it yet. All I see is confusion. All I see is the lack of leadership. I say it every night. This man probably never read a book on leadership theory or doesn't even know what leadership theory is. So we have a problem in DC. We have the blind leading the deaf because Congress is not even listening to their own constituents. You have people that voted for this man within the government that have lost their jobs and are losing their minds and going batshit crazy. That's what we have. We have people that come up here and say how much we're winning. I don't see the winning yet. We have a man that is spewing confusion and hate. He sent out a tweet today, disrespectful to anyone that is actually celebrating Easter, and conflating the issue of one individual that has been taken to CCOT and just saying that he's getting rid of seems like hundreds of thousands of criminals and thieves, and just the rhetoric that is causing division instead of causing the country to unite. And you see it on these stages. You see the individuals that don't want to hear what anyone has to say and are just following the words of a tyrant, someone that wants to attack, who people fear. And shout out to Luis for the podcast where we get to go in there and voice how we really feel. I think a lot of people feel how I feel, but they just don't want to say anything. They're going to just sit by idly because they may be comfortable and they may be financially secure, so they really don't give a. I'm not going to curse, but that's where we're at. And with that, I land.
You say how you feel. How do you feel? And name one thing that you think Trump has done to ruin America.
I
That's
said
what I want to hear.
it. Lack of leadership, the lack of the ability to unite us as Americans. When certain presidents win the presidency, you feel a sense of unity. You feel a sense of yes, left and right could come together. They've yet to pass one law.
Yeah,
No laws have been, no bills have been brought up
wow.
to the House and the
Guys,
Senate.
you know what, Devon, I'm glad you brought that up. Has this been the longest term? I mean, where we really haven't had any laws passed by our Congress? I mean, right now, they have both control of the House and the Senate, and no legislation have really been passed. The only thing that's been done is executive orders. So, I mean, guys, is Congress at work? Is Congress not at work? It looks like the only person that's been working really is the judicial branch, dealing with all these court cases that's arising through these executive orders. Someone was trying to jump in. Who's that?
Yeah, Jonathan. So there's Congress is working on something called a big, beautiful bill, and what this is going to be is going to be an omnibus bill with a whole bunch of different policies, budgetary agenda items, priorities of the president, spending cuts, and things like that. That's going to be in the big, beautiful bill. So unlike previous Congresses, and Trump has said this, Mike Johnson has said this, come out and said this. Uh, Unlike previous Congresses, they're planning on putting a lot of the policy agendas into two bills. The first one is the first big beautiful bill, and the second one will be the second big beautiful bill. You'll see things like immigration reform, healthcare reform. There's going to be a lot of infrastructure spending. You'll see a lot of cuts to a lot of the frivolous waste, fraud, and abuse the government has been just, lavishing itself on. So that's what you can expect. That's what they've been working on. They passed the bill in the Senate and went to the House. It's now being marked up in the House. You can expect something by the summertime.
So we're gonna be 6 months in before Congress passes its first really substantial bill.
It'll be the equivalent of like 10 bills in one, Jonathan. That's what I'm trying to say. You're saying Congress isn't working, but that's not true. They're passing the equivalent of 10 bills in one.
Yeah, TC. The problem with that is when you do a big, beautiful bill, everyone has their own interest. Anyone who's that's trying to jump in? Okay, I thought someone's trying to jump in. Who's that? Go ahead. Who's that? Luis? Your microphone is horrible. It sounds like a 50 cent mic. It don't even sound like a dollar mic. It sounds like a 50 cent
Right,
mic.
it's coming in clear. This is
Yeah,
Gary.
yeah, yeah.
Sorry
Then go
about
ahead. Now we can go ahead.
that. Okay, that's that Bluetooth. With a big beautiful bill, mean they're not going to do anything. We've seen this over and over where they pack it and then they just argue over it for who knows how long. So that's what they call work, is creating a lot of packages and doing nothing for the longest. Because then they have time to point fingers at each other and just delay and delay. And the next thing you know, they wait until they lose the influence they have in both houses and find someone else to fault for that. So I don't think anything's going to happen with this big, beautiful bill. That's how they stall.
I agree. Anyone else? I agree wholeheartedly. TC, this bill, everyone likes to have pork in these bills. Okay, and everyone, when you're trying to do a big, beautiful bill, and when you're trying to do a small bill, you have things that's not even related to the bill put in the bill. Imagine doing a big, beautiful bill when everyone's been waiting to put their pork in to these bills, and all that pork has to go into the big, beautiful bill because they didn't have a whole bunch of smaller bills that where they were able to bury their pork in for their district. That doesn't seem like a recipe for getting something done. I don't
Well,
see that
well,
happening.
well, Jonathan, that's not exactly true. So I actually have the text here of a few of the bills that are going to be included in the big, beautiful bill. So you got tax reform, extension of the Trump era tax cuts. You've got elimination of specific taxes, particularly removing tax on tips, overtime pay, Social Security benefits. Fiscal impact reform, tax reform is projected to cost approximately, or projected to save approximately $5 trillion over a decade. Um, there's going to be spending cuts, healthcare programs, $880 billion in cuts from programs like Medicaid, other domestic programs, anticipated areas like energy and commerce. Of course, we know about the Department of Education. There'll be cuts to that spending as well. There's going to be border security and immigration. It includes provisions to enhance border security, resuming the border wall construction and implementing stricter asylum laws. There's going to be measures that build upon previous proposals like H.R. 2, the Secure the Border Act, which sought to restrict asylum processes and increase enforcement. He's going to make that stronger. He's going to include election integrity with the SAVE Act, the Safeguard American Voter Eligibility Act. Passed by the House, requires individuals to present proof of U.S. citizenship when they're registering to vote. That's going to be ground changing. That's going to be shifting. It's going to be massive. There's going to be energy and defense policies, energy initiatives that expands domestic energy production, reducing environmental regulations that promote energy independence. So these are just a few of the many different bills that's going to be included in the big beautiful bill.
TC, and I get that, and I'm not disputing that. But what I'm saying to you, TC, is the problem that you're going to run into with the big beautiful bill is this. All right, these bills, when you're going to vote on, if you're voting on, if you, the problem with the big beautiful bill is you're voting on all these things at one time. Okay, there are special interests that's always tied to these bills. Okay, so let's say we want to, I don't know, stop. Let's say do the voter ID. Okay, we do the voter ID, make that law. Now, I may need funding for a park in my district that I promised to people, and somebody else may need, and so we start putting all this pork in these bills. Okay, and so you're doing one big beautiful bill. All that pork got to be in those bills. That bill, everyone's got to get what they want, and it's going to be massive. and so massive that it's not even readable. And everyone is able to put in what they got to be able to put in their own interest for their districts. The pork that has to be in there because that's why people vote the way they vote, because they vote their own interests in terms of their election and things that they say they can do. So while Congress is not doing that, having these independent these votes on these individual bills, they're gonna have to put this all in one bill to satisfy the I guess their representatives. But Scott, Barth, you have your hands up. Go ahead.
Yeah, Bing, I'm 100% in agreement with you. This is by far the dumbest thing Trump has ever done. This is like why the immigration thing never went through when it could have last year. It's because, and this is why the fucking Doge was created. This is how they get $21 million for a Sesame Street play in Afghanistan, or the list goes on. It's because to Bank said it, to get the random shit done. This is how all the fraud comes in USAID or whatever. Just the little stuff that will get pushed into these things. Each one of these things need to be voted on one by one, and this whole combining shit needs to stop. But yeah, this is a dumb move. That's all I have. I'm done.
Man,
Can I add something, Jonathan, about that, just
Go
in
ahead.
general? Yeah, so, a couple of things that are troubling with respect to this deficit spending. I mean, we definitely have to get toward a balanced budget. And it's great to talk about tax cuts and all of these types of things, but we have to be able to have enough cuts in spending to balance that. And the facts are not in favor of Republican administrations. If you look back decades, we have had more deficit spending in Republican administrations and less um, positive economies in the Republican administrations and the Democrat administrations. Even when you take out some of the massive amount of spending that was done for recession relief, or COVID relief, or things like, or military wars, things like that are spikes, right? But I think that we just have a massive issue. So no, I agree with not some massive bill that's going to have all of that extra things and extra favors to get something. We do have to look at these things individually, but there's a lot of happy talk coming out of the Trump administration, in my opinion, and coming out of Trump that is, I just call bullshit. I call bullshit on it because it doesn't all add up. And if you look at his prior administration, and yes, there was COVID money aspects to it, but it was a huge increase in the deficit. So that would be awesome if he can get to the point where over time we can cut this deficit cumulatively by 5 trillion, but I call bullshit. I don't think they'll get there.
Absolutely. Once again, guys, everyone has to get their pork projects through.
How much money was printed during Biden's term?
Grant the Biden, yes, but there was a lot of increase during Biden's term and
Yeah.
during Barack
Eh,
Obama's terms. There was increase in debt added, and there were deficit spendings. But overall, if you look back in history, right? Some of the best times were actually Democrat administrations, and some of the least amount of deficit spending was during the Democrat administrations. So I'm just
Yeah.
calling bullshit on
Yeah.
Trump's ability. I would love to see it happen. I will be the first person to cheer a
Yeah.
balance, and I'm more of a centrist. I'm more about the
Yeah.
data, and let's do things right,
Yeah. I'm
right?
with you. I'm all about right too. But I just asked a question: how much money was printed during Biden?
During Biden,
8 trillion.
okay. I don't know that,
Okay.
Grant,
Now,
but
COVID was over. Okay. So Trump had to print. There was no choice. This was both sides of the aisle agreed. We have to print. You lost 40 million jobs in 2 weeks because of COVID. Everything was shut down. You needed money in the system to move things along. Otherwise, people couldn't, we would have collapsed. Money
Right.
was
There was
printed.
also tax cuts during his administration and other
Yeah,
things, which I'm not saying was a bad thing
yeah, those were in
necessarily,
place.
right?
Yeah,
But there were additional tax cuts that added to the $7.8 trillion of debt added during his administration. So yes, did he have to did he have to continue and do the COVID relief and the COVID stimulus? Yes, so but even if you take that out, It's going to be very interesting to see if he's able to even get even close to it with all the things that he's talking about doing that would increase the deficit. There's going to have to be 2 to 3 times that to get to a balanced budget, to decrease, to have a cumulative decrease.
If I could add, if you're speaking to Clinton's time, where you had this great um, economic, I guess you would say positive, you have to throw NAFTA in there because that's the only reason why it was so great is because he sold America out and corporations loved it, and there's your big boom. And Yeah,
No,
now we're
uh,
living it
Gary.
today.
No,
Gary, add to that. Add
that's
to that,
bullshit.
Gary. Hold on,
Bull.
Snarky.
TC, can you
Add
turn
to
on voice isolation? We can't really hear what you're saying.
and add
Okay,
to
can you
that.
show me how to do that? I don't know how to. Grant, can
No,
you?
no,
Not
we
on
cannot
stage. Not
show
on
you how to
stage.
do that. Don't be an amateur.
Hey,
Hey,
Grant, if you
TC, hold
could.
on one second, TC. And add to that, Clinton was the one that basically would end up forcing Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac to have to be bailed out in 2008 because he is the one that suggested that everyone should deserves to buy a home. And
Bush actually did that. That was Bush's.
no. Clinton put that on
That was
full
Bush
freaking
is bro,
steroids.
bro.
Wrong,
But
wrong.
Bush,
Stop it.
2008, Clinton left office in
Clinton had already
2001.
approved the laws. Had already approved the
No,
laws for the
Bush
no
ran
money
with that.
down loans.
No, Bush did that. Grant, Bush
No, bro.
ran with it.
Bush was there. Bush was
No,
there while it happened.
no,
Okay.
Bush guys. Clinton, look, Grant's right. Clinton.
Thank you.
Wait,
Thank you.
wait. But Bush took it further. Bush believed that everyone, and he believed that
No, that
Americans
was
at home.
Clinton, bro. The
No,
Clintons were the. Oh, come on, bro.
bro. Guys,
You
look,
can't
Clinton was
change
gone.
history, dude.
Clinton was gone 8 years. Okay, so whose economy is that? Is that Clinton's economy or is it Bush's economy? Come on, 8 years. Okay, and guess what? The Republicans controlled the House and Senate so many times during the 8 years. Let's not do that, Grant. It doesn't even make sense what you're saying right now. It was 100% George W. Bush. That's one of the things I respected about him because I really thought he made it easier for people to get homes. And they did over and over again. 8 years. And it crashed. That's why people are so mad at him. Now you're trying to do revisionist history saying it's Clinton. That doesn't make sense, bro. Doesn't make sense at all. Just want to call that out. Let me just say something, guys. Republicans are bad with economy. I'll say it again. Republicans are bad with the economy. All right. So this only, I mean, since 80, okay, 80. Let's put it this way. I'm gonna go back to Roosevelt. Okay, Roosevelt served I think one period of a recession or whatever. All right, back in 1940s. So let's go back now. You take it from there all the way up. There's only one Democratic president. Okay, and that's Jimmy Carter that sat during a recession. And if you look at all the other ones, all the other Republican presidents, they set on a recession. Okay, there's recessions during their administration. Let's look at 10 of, and this is too big. Okay, 10 of the 10 of the poorest states in this country are red states. The only one that makes that list out of the 10 poorest states is New Mexico. Okay, for that's a blue state. 10 of the poorest states are red states. Let's go a step further. Out of 100 of the poorest counties in this country, all right, 95 of them are in red states. I do it again. Out of the 100 poorest counties in this country, 95 of them are in red states. The Republicans are not good with the economy. Okay? They're not good with the economy at all. Not at all. I just want to put that out there, and that's real. So, with that being said, I'll turn it back
Hey,
over to you.
Jonathan, is this any better? Can you guys hear me better now? Is it isolated?
Yes, yes, yeah, yep, better.
Okay, I'll figure it out. Hey, Grant, are you there? Grant Cardone, are you there, or did he step away from his mic? All right. Anyways, he looks like he's not there. I wanted to say something to what he said a minute ago. Basically, you guys have to understand when Trump is doing this big beautiful bill, he's not doing it to kind of like create a. Oh, I see Grant's back. Grant, you there?
Yes.
Grant, can you please check your text messages, bro? I'm trying to close a business deal in Cabo, and I need you to like respond to your text message real quick if you don't mind. Um, so the reason why you would have an omnibus bill, this is not the first time, by the way, that presidents have passed omnibus bills. And Jonathan, you're absolutely right. It reduces the ability for people to get the pork spending they want in there. But what you don't have this go round that you had a previous go round is you had a lot of disunity in Congress. Right now, the Republicans control enough of the Senate to be able to cross the threshold to pass a bill with like 61 votes, which is what you need, and which is what you would need to pass a reconciliation bill in the Senate. In the House is a little bit more trickier because you have a very small majority. And so, yeah, people can mess that up in the Senate. But the difference here is that you have pretty much the entire Republican conference bought into the idea that we're not going to pass much if we don't pass these two bills. And so you have consensus from the Republican caucus in the House and the Republican caucus in the Senate. So I think what the fears that you have is going to be not so big of an issue this go round because Congress isn't going to pass much if they don't pass these bills. And I think all the people, yeah, all the Republicans in Congress realize that.
Hey JB, this is GA from Clubhouse, man. I just want to hop in there real quick. I'm glad TC came back because here's the thing. Do I like it any more than you do, JB? I don't. I really don't. But here's the other part about it. This is the best shot that they have. Because let's just be honest and let's call a spade a spade. If I pack a bill with more crap than the American voting population has the attention span to even go through, because we got to admit, man, the voting American population, they have ADD. They're not going to dig into those bills. Of course, this is the smartest way for them to do it. I'm going to pack it with much crap as I possibly can at one time and make it so muddy that I can actually change the narrative to focus on any of those things: immigration, voting. I mean, literally pack it with everything, and I can make the narrative on TV whatever I want to get this bill passed through. It is his genius on that side because of the fact that a American voter is not going to dig through the bill. There's going to be problems with each and every single one of those little things. If you pass them one at a time, the Democrats will pick them apart. Yes, we will, and rightfully so. This is the only shot that they have. So they're actually executing the best strategy with a voting population that we have, and with them having control of the Senate and the House. I'm not shocked that they would do it this way. There's no possible way they could pass one bill at a time. Really? No. Cory Booker to stand up with a diaper on and go for 36 hours. They're not going to risk that. They're going to just pack all the crap in one and control the narrative and put out into the public and on TV and podcasts and all of this stuff whatever narrative they want to spin to get this bill through. It makes sense. I expected it.
100%. But guys,
JB,
yes, you hear me?
when you, yeah, I can hear you. Were you about to go? I had a
No,
question
no,
for
go,
you.
go, go, go.
Well, I was just going to ask you about when you said that the poorest states are Republican. Do you think that that also, like, how do you think that we could trust Republican presidents if that's how we trend? Then
Well,
how can
that's
we have so much trust that Trump is going to get us to a better place
yeah,
economically?
By the way, that's a bunch of misinformation that the poor states, because he's just using pieces and parts of economic data to frame his case up.
no,
He could
because
compare. You can't compare Mississippi to New York, bro.
yeah, bro.
You cannot compare Louisiana to Illinois. Okay,
Guys, once again,
you
the
cannot
10
compare.
poorest states.
Excuse me. You cannot compare Florida and Texas to California. Okay, it's an economic powerhouse. It has been for decades. You cannot compare the parts of the Midwest that have been poor for years because we lost our manufacturing to California, New York, where you have massive populations of Philadelphia, Boston. Stop it. And admit to people that you were delivering misinformation.
You know, Grant, I'm glad you said all that because you only strengthened the case. Okay, you're right. You can't compare Mississippi to New York because New York is a freaking powerhouse, and Mississippi is poor as hell. Okay, Alabama,
That's the word I
Kentucky.
use. I use the word powerhouse.
Okay, okay. So
Come up with your own
no,
language.
no, no. I use your word. I use your word intentionally. Okay.
Okay.
So here's the thing. I'll say it again. Out of
Hey,
the
before you
10,
go there, this is a good time for a reset.
you know what? Yeah, me broke my. I had a steak. I was not
You
like
got
that.
liberal
I was like a
left
dog. I was
turn.
like a dog, but I was a dog about to crack a bone, a piece of meat. I was like, about to bite into it. I was about to bite into it. And he like, no, do a reset.
Pause.
Hey, chat, do a reset, chat, because he got me. Because he ain't gonna throw me off. He ain't gonna throw me off with
That
that.
was crazy. Yeah, big pause, TC. You guys are welcome to Debate the News. Happy Easter Resurrection Day. For those of you that believe, thank you guys for joining us. Make sure that you look at the top of your screen and click on that link. That is the Debate the News podcast. So make sure that you are downloading episodes, that you are supporting the podcast, but that you're also giving us a review. Give us 5 stars. Download episodes, but just make sure that you are supporting Debate the News. Also, while you're here, make sure that no matter the platform that you are giving each of these pages likes, right? Follow the page, follow the channel, follow the house on whatever platform you're on. Make sure you follow us to be engaged in what's going on in the world, but also locally. I will also add, please make sure that you guys are following our amazing co-host and our host JB. Make sure you're giving everyone else a follow. Set your notifications on for when we drop new episodes on our podcast, on the DTN podcast. Set your alerts on. Matter of fact, just do automatic downloads, and that way you know you'll get an alert. You may be
Man,
able to
that's a
hear
lot
your
of stuff
boy.
to do, bro. Like, man, touch here, touch there, do this, do that. Like,
Yeah, people may have already done that though, Grant. You know,
no,
people like
no.
to
But
touch
what y'all
things,
got
do
to
they
do,
not?
what she didn't tell you to do, is you got to be part of the show. Hey, Uncle G, Democrat right now begging for everything because they have nothing left, So
Who the hell are you talking about?
I'm talking to
Put,
you, Chad.
put your booty up. Okay, let me finish my
I know
reset.
you're a Republican. Go.
Put your boot up. Okay, put your cheeks up. Okay, so last thing I will say, please come on the stage if you want to contribute to the conversation. We would love to hear diverse voices and we would love to hear from you. Back over to you, JB.
Absolutely. And GC, you calmed me down with that right there. So you did that intentionally. But anyway, folks, I'm going to get back to it. Because what he said was, once again, you can't compare New York to Alabama or Mississippi because New York is a powerhouse. California is a powerhouse. New Jersey, powerhouse. Massachusetts, powerhouse. Washington State, powerhouse. Okay? Oregon, powerhouse. Illinois, powerhouse. Texas,
and
red state.
and and
Red,
most of those people, most of those powerhouses that you just listed have negative migration from their states because the people are so fed up they're moving to some of these more conservative places to provide their families, their children with family
yes and
values,
no.
lower
Yes and no.
taxes, and better opportunities.
Here, I do you one better, Grant, and I'm gonna get back to my point. I'll do you one better. Roll, hey guys. Okay, side trip. Okay, New Jersey had the most people move out of it. Okay, but New Jersey gained in population because more people moved into New Jersey. All right, coming
From
from
where?
out,
From where? From where?
coming from foreigners. Okay,
From
moved
where?
into
Foreigners.
foreigners. As I
Foreigners.
said, foreigners.
Well,
Exactly.
that's
So,
because we let 20 fucking million people in.
well, one second. But the growth is still there. Gotcha, bitch. So anyway, we're gonna keep this thing moving.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah,
gonna keep this.
most of your positive migration came from New York City, where they're leaving. Now they're trying to go back over there since offices are required and mandatory to go back 5 days. You guys get jerked off between New Jersey and New York so hard. It's crazy. Even your mayor in New York City is now leaving the Democratic Party.
Yeah, of course he owes Trump a favor.
Hey,
Let's not do that.
JB,
He owes. He owes. But here. So anyway. So I'll say it again. 10 of the poorest states. Okay, in this country, out of 10 of the poorest states in the country, only
Again, it's
one,
missing so much data. Those 10
only
states,
one
those 10
is a blue
states.
state, and that's no that is New Mexico. Out of the 100 poorest counties in America, guys, look it up, guys, look it up. Out of the 100 poorest counties in America, 95 are in red states. Republicans are not good for the economy. Okay, guess
Actually,
what?
actually, that's not true. That's not
That,
true.
that, that is
No,
true.
that's
That
not
is
true.
true.
No, Texas and Florida are first and second. California
What
is third.
what are you
What are you
talking about?
talking about, man? What are you talking about, JB? You're smoking something, man.
Okay, and they're not that bright either. They're not that bright either. You hear that, right? You
We
hear
don't
what he
claim
said.
him.
You heard you guys. You don't want to claim him. Now you don't want to
Not
claim
claiming
him.
him.
You're not claiming him because he came and said that dumb shit. Y'all don't want to claim him.
Real dumb shit.
It's not a dumb shit at all. Florida's Texas
Okay.
first and Florida second. So go ahead and
Yeah,
search it
yeah.
yourself.
You know, New York has New York has. I mean, excuse me. California has the world's fourth largest economy. Bro, stop it. Let's not do this. Okay, you're making yourself look bad. California alone has the world fourth largest economy. So don't do it.
Trade you him for Joseph.
So
Shut
don't
up,
do it.
Bart.
Don't do it.
Shut up, Bart. Your words mean
All
nothing,
right, leave it
sir.
alone. Leave it alone. Let Bing
Nah,
continue.
nah. He looking at the Iranian. He looking at those Iranian textbooks.
No, that's
uh,
actually it's Google search from the United States right here. So
uh, so anyway, let's keep this thing moving. So you don't want to trust the Republicans, okay? And then when you look at the presidents, okay, every president since Ronald Reagan, okay, every session that we had since Ronald Reagan has been presided over by a Republican. Okay, not one Democrat resided over a recession. Okay, there you go. The last Democrat to reside over a depression was Jimmy Carter back in 1980. Okay, right before he got out of office. It was a quick one, got out of it. All right, but that was it. Now, before that, it was Roosevelt. But guys, think about this. I want you guys to think about this. Every Republican president after that, Roosevelt, resided over a recession. Think about that, folks. When was the last time a Republican didn't reside over a recession? You got to go back before Roosevelt. There you go. So you guys want to trust Republicans talking about how good they are with money? Then go for it. Okay, they're so good with money that the states are poor and the counties are poor. I
as
land.
far as I know, California is to have the most debt in the whole United States right here, man.
Thank you. There's some stats in the chat about the debt.
Yeah. Once again, that's like saying, you know, it cost me $80 to get. I don't know. I'll be rolling $200 to get my tire fixed on my Chevy. Okay, but it cost me $1,200. No, let's say $2,700 to get it fixed on my Bentley. Okay, let's not do that. Okay, you're going to compare Mississippi debt to California debt. Come on. So
Then why Gavin Newsman joined Trump administration because he wants to cover all those migrants came to in California. So that's what he's doing because he doesn't have no more money.
one second, one second.
Yeah,
Don, are you
I don't
there?
know what's going on with my mic. I was trying to come off mic, Jonathan.
Yeah, one second. Don Cannon, are you there? Don Cannon going twice.
I'm right here.
All right, Don Cannon. First of all, welcome to the show, man. I appreciate you being here. And I saw that you're from South Sudan, and South
I'm from
Sudan,
South
believe it or
Sudan.
not, it's like I believe that it was our youngest nation in the world. Is it still the youngest nation in the world right now?
Yes, still young nation in the world. Yes, you're correct.
Yeah, okay, because I remember that some time ago. I don't know if any other countries were formed after that. So, guys, first of all, how's South Sudan? Because South Sudan was war torn and a lot of people dying down there. And when I find that we have people from all over the world listening, and especially when you say you're listening in from South Sudan, uh, how is it? And what? First of all, how you guys looking at the United States right now? But how is the condition? How are the conditions down there now? Because it was South guys. It was Sudan, and they fought and they succeeded from Sudan to form South Sudan. Okay, and so I haven't read about this stuff in years, but that's what I recall if I'm correct. But there's a lot of killing happening. Has it calmed down? And how are you guys looking at the United States as well? Those are the two things I'm posing to you.
Right now, my connection is actually not
great right now, but I'm just gonna just speak for a little bit. If it connected
No
right, if it
problem.
doesn't
We hear
connect,
you
yeah.
well. You're great. Go ahead.
All right. So South Sudan is in a bad condition, right? And since United States decided to cut us off, so what that's fine too. It did it to all the African nations. So what I'm here for is that, I listen to you guys day and night. You know what I mean? Sometimes I have connections, sometimes I don't. But I appreciate you, John. I came from Middle Marathon since the day one through the CH and everything. I appreciate Grant is one of the genius people that I always follow, but he's been in some bullshit lately, so that's why I was in the chat heavy. You know what I mean? But South Sudan is doing bad. We're being cut off from the aid, and our visas being cut off. We're being deported left and right. So I
No,
just
Don, be honest. Be honest, Don. While that's
No, no, no,
happening,
no, 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 no.
it's
No, TC, stop. Don't
no.
argue with a
This is
guy. No,
this is
stop. We're
not fake
getting.
the news,
Don't.
Jonathan.
No,
He's
no, no.
giving
You're
false
not. This
news.
guy has limited internet connection. Don't do that. We're
His
getting there.
internet connection is
Okay.
not
Not
limited.
interrupt the news,
Yeah.
TC.
Stop.
Stay
Exactly,
on
bro.
subject.
Just chill out. Go
TC, I
ahead,
couldn't
sir.
speak. My connection is okay right now. I'm not.
But
You're
go,
good,
go.
Don. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah, yeah. So what I'm saying is that I only time in through the chat is just because Grant got called out by John early, and he went quiet, which I respect from him because he knew he was wrong, but he couldn't admit it. But John kind of let it go. What I'm saying is that we're doing bad as South Sudanese. We've been cut off from the world through United States. So I'm not gonna make no excuses. We made bad mistakes through dealing with China and all that stuff. But what I'm saying is right now I'm just here for Grant to just let him know that I have respect for him since he joined Elon Musk because he become on some bullshit. And now Grant, I lost that kind of respect for your uncle. I have to say that respectfully. TC, I always liked you through debate the news back then, but TC you in some bullshit too. So I have to call you out from South Sudan. I'll rest my case. And
Okay.
thank you
Yeah,
Yeah.
guys.
you're a
One,
liar.
one
You're
second,
a
one second, one
liar.
second, 1 second, bro. 1 second. All right. So anyway, but how are you guys looking at the United States right now? What do you guys think, and what's happening with our president, and what's happening with the tariffs? What are people in South Sudan saying? Because South Sudan is a really it's a poor country right now because it's a baby. It's still a baby country. Can you tell me how what you guys are thinking?
Through the Orange Man, we can't do much because we're a small country, right? So anything that I can say right now could be wrong. But what we're trying to plea on is just trying to make sure United States can be a supporter of the South Sudan government because right now we're in a war through ethnic cleansing and all the stuff. So I can't say much about the tariff because we don't produce that much to the United States. So I just leave it there. Thank you,
Yeah.
John.
No problem. So the ethnic cleansing is still going on. Wow.
Yeah, it's still
That
happening. Yes.
yeah,
Thank you,
guys,
John, man.
guys,
I
yeah,
appreciate
guys.
you for letting me speak.
No problem. I appreciate that. When I saw that you were from South Sudan, it always fascinates me, guys. And once again, guys, when we see people like that, guys, you guys see someone in the chat from another country like that, just let me know because I want to make sure that we speak to what's happening there on the ground because South Sudan, they were going through a really bad. There were a lot of murders, rapes, and ethnic cleansing going on, and they fought and they succeeded from Sudan. And they became the youngest nation in the world right now. So when I saw that he was from South Sudan, I was like, oh my God, South Sudan. So, TC, yeah, if you want to talk to the man, go ahead, man. But we definitely want to get the information out there. We don't want to shut it down because it's always a privilege to talk to others that are, that calling in from other countries other than the United States. And that is something, wow.
Well, it'd be great if Don was actually honest about the news that he was reporting, but he's not. What he left out was that the Secretary of State decided to suspend visas from Sudan because they would not accept
It's
their
not Sudan, you're wrong. It's not
deportees.
Sudan. It's
Hey,
Sudan.
hey,
It's
hey,
not
hey,
Sudan.
South
hey!
Forget
Listen,
about it.
hey! Go ahead and mute up while I'm talking. Thank you. So they decided to suspend visas because the Sudanese government was not receiving the deportees back. And so he said, okay, you guys want to play hardball. You don't want to receive
Can I correct that,
back.
John?
Yeah,
If
you.
I
I want
may?
to.
What
Yeah,
we're going to do.
I'll let you correct it. Go ahead. But I want
Yeah,
to
yeah,
land.
but I'm going to land. Thank you.
Yeah, because you
Okay,
made
So,
stuff look like
so
ass. Go ahead.
Sudanese,
okay. So
so
let me
so the
correct that. Let me just
Sudanese
correct that,
government
TC.
wants to try and play hardball with
No, you just
America.
said you
You
landed.
can't play
TC, you
hardball.
said
No,
you
no, I
landed.
did not say I landed.
You
I
said
did
and I
not say.
land.
Oh my God! You know what,
Did he say
Jonathan?
that,
Go
guys? I
ahead.
don't know. Maybe
Go
it's
ahead.
me.
No, I didn't say that. But go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay,
Go.
so let me correct that, John. And TC, you're wrong about that. The United States deported somebody from Congo that got deported in 2006. He actually went back to Congo, came back to the United States in 2009, and then he came with South Sudanese passport, which he got a citizenship from South Sudan, which is wrong by South Sudanese. When he got deported, South Sudan deported that person back to the United States. And then Rubio got pissed off about that. How can you do that when supposed to be deporting people to Mexico and all the nonsense that Donald Trump is doing? South Sudan did that, deported that person back and said this person doesn't belong to South Sudan. That's why Rubio put the whole visa on pause and say that we suspend everything until he accepted it. South Sudan accepted that person and said, we will take him, we'll put him to jail. I'm sorry, we're going to do that just to maintain the relationship. That's what happened. You got your news wrong, my friend.
TC, go ahead. All right. All right, guys. So,
Yeah, he can't
yeah.
say nothing.
He's always wrong.
Yeah, he is, guys. Yeah, yeah, absolutely, guys. So, guys, what we're gonna do right now is, man, oh man, because as I sit here, believe it or not, being able to speak to you, Don, has been a pleasure because of the fact that, um, once again, you're able to give us how your view, and we don't need our view all the time. We always say we don't want listen to the mainstream media, but yet here we are, you know. Sprouting out the mainstream media talking points when we have someone that can actually give a different perspective. And so I appreciate you for that. Uh, so definitely don't want that to how should I put this? I didn't want that to be your experience here. So what we're going to do, folks, real fast is I am going to do a real hard reset here. All right, and what a hard reset is, folks, is
Mm-hmm.
essentially we're going to keep the show going. But we're gonna do that hard reset on the other platform. So on the other platform,
Jonathan,
one second, one
Jonathan.
second. No. You can't do that. Don't I think no. Just
No,
keep
I'm
my
saying
put him
something's
down.
wrong
Push
with
him
my
down.
Hard
app.
Push him down.
reset,
Push him
TC.
down. Push him down. Thank you. All right, guys. So yeah, so essentially, what we're going to do is a hard reset. And what does a hard reset look like? On the other platform, you guys will be in a hallway for 5 seconds. Once again, on the other platform, you guys will be in a hallway for 5 seconds. So we're gonna do a hard reset right now, and we're gonna jump right back into the show. And so, with that being said, folks, let's go ahead. And I'm so sorry, guys. I apologize. This would have been done already. So the hard reset is happening now over there on the other platform.